How old are they now?
My son is 6 and my daughter's 4.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, it is insane. All right. Sorry that I am running late. Ready to go. Here, my audio's good. Why is it doing this? Oh, went blank. Okay. I am not showing anything here today, so that's good. All right. Yeah. Let's Cesar, is it possible that you can open up YouTube on your phone just in case any questions come in from the stream? That. And then other people will come in as we get rolling. But let's just get started. So, let's just get rolling, and apologies for being behind. I guess I'll probably say this a few times today, but it dawned on me like 10 minutes before we started. I'm like taking my time wandering down to get a smoothie. And it dawned on me, I was like, because the topic today we're going to talk about is 100 or 150 steps to launch. There's actually like over 600 steps, but it was like a number that I felt was not so intimidating. And we're going to go through a lot of the important ones, but the goal was, most people think it's.
So you are giving us the summarized version.
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to cover more than what most people consider should be there. It's just there's certain things, and you'll see it when I get there, that are, no, this is going to be more comprehensive than I think anything you can find on the web. Yeah. But there's a lot of other things that are more personal for me, that's what I do, and since it's worked for me really good, obviously they're in my launch list. But since it's in my head, it dawned on me like 10 minutes before we started the event, and obviously the beginner hour now runs into 2 o'clock when I need to start and there's no time, is that I did not write these down in like 1, 2, 3. So there's going to be somebody here that's going to say, oh, hold up, that was number 4, or that was number. So I tried to scramble and get that done, and in the process of doing that, not only did not do it, but started a little late. So, but I did make a note here that should be more than enough for me to follow through with it. Well, that's a good sign that the audio works, because he's hearing it on the phone. Isn't the delay kind of weird? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I haven't said anything in a bit. Okay. Yeah, it was hard to keep talking with hearing myself talk. It seemed like weird.
It's a good 40 seconds.
Yeah, it was like a Back to the Future type moment where you're like interacting with yourself. Okay. I'll be popping the glasses on and off so I can look at some of my notes here. And I'm apparently going blind as I go close to 50. Yeah, 48. I'll be 48. I'm going to be 48. You're the best.
It's all in your mind.
Yeah. Well, my mind says 60.
If you say 30,
Your mind
say
says
30.
My mind says I'm 60. Like,
No,
I'm tired.
if you tell everybody you're 60, they'll say you look great.
Yeah, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to start doing that. About to turn 60. For those of you that are new, this is your first time, yeah? So banners we have up there that you see are some of our sponsors. We have a lot of amazing sponsors, and I'll touch more on them as we get into the main topic, and then throughout you'll hear me reference them. They're kind of part of what allows us to do this and have these locations through the U.S. Otherwise, as you can imagine, locations like this are pretty expensive, and wifey is not going to be okay with me doing free events and pulling out of our account every month to pay for the locations. So that wouldn't happen. Definitely would not have happened for 10 years. So we say no to more sponsors than we say yes. We meaning myself, my wife, who's my business partner, and the team. So the ones that are here, they're solid. Like they're really good. I either worked with them firsthand, which is the vast majority, or there's very, very few, I think there's two, that I was working with somebody else, so I was like, hey, in good faith, I can't have you as a sponsor, but these three people in the group, we share everything. You work with them for X amount of time, be the best thing since peanut butter. If they come back and say that, that's enough for me, and we go forward and do it. But the vast majority I work with firsthand. We're in our beginner hour now, which is lately I've been doing live product sourcing. I'll pop the computer open and just talk out like looking for products. We've been doing that often. It's gotten great feedback, and now I'm getting some people that are like, can we just have an open topic again and some questions? So I don't have any live products to source today. I was gonna take some questions. You'd figure everyone wanted to ask questions, so I was like, it's gonna be a packed beginner hour, and now people are still straggling in, so we'll make the most of it. There's a lot of other things that I can share between now and 2 p.m. when everybody else gets here. But a few other group announcements. A lot of us are going to be in Vegas next month for Alibaba Co-Create, which is going to be a pretty wild event, September 5th through the 6th. I fly out on the 4th, and I red-eye back on the night of the 6th. On the 7th, we have a great event here. So I'm landing in Miami at 5 a.m., and I will be here for our event at 1 p.m., which is Amazon Lit. Right, so Amazon Lit will be here in the wholesale thing. We're getting a lot of people saying they really want to be here, they really want to attend. They got unique energy. So that is happening on the 7th. So it's a really packed week for me there. If you use the code WOE, like Wizards of Ecom, if you use the code WOE on the Alibaba Co-Create site, it gives you 20% off. Flights to Vegas, I'm told, are subsidized. That's why they're so cheap to get out there. I guess they want you to just gamble when you're out there. I don't know if that's true or not, but you could see that the flights going out there are much cheaper. They're very affordable. Like you can fly out there, I think, for 180, 200 bucks. And the cool thing about the Alibaba tickets for the event is that they throw in 2 nights at the hotel of the event if you get the VIP ticket. So they'll give you $200 Alibaba credits to use on Alibaba. They'll give you $200 I'm sorry, not $200. They'll give you 2 nights in the hotel free, which if you try to get the hotel on your own is about $150 to $200 per night. So it's about another $400 and something there. Food is included, and you can attend the gala, which I don't know what value you assign to that, for a $999. That's the VIP ticket. You don't have to get the VIP ticket, but the VIP ticket, $999, and it looks like $600, $700 worth of value. So it's a steal, and you'll be able to go there with the group. Let me see what else. Yeah, so I recommend going, even if I don't know where you're at. Everybody's at with their Amazon business, or if you're all in with private label or you're thinking about it, but this would be a good one to go to. Very heavy presence of TikTok is going to be at this event. There's a lot of Amazon sellers, but there's a lot of other like Shopify sellers and wholesalers that are attending this event. Alibaba has some really cool stuff that I would share with you guys, but I seriously cannot, and you'll understand once it gets released why I could not ahead of time. But Alibaba has some pretty big announcements to make at that event. So I look forward to if you guys can come. And by the way, if you see me occasionally looking that way at the camera, it's not me checking myself out in the mirror. There's a camera back there. It's not catching you guys, but it's trying to make a little bit respectful and kind of like make some eye contact. Cesar, if anybody asks any questions, you'll let me know.
And actually, the flight ticket flying from Miami and getting back in the red eye is around $250, $260.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome. Yeah. So, yeah, you grab food, drink if you want, sit wherever you'd like. Yeah. Yeah. Bathrooms are in the back, by the way, if you need to go to the bathroom. Anybody? Help yourself to the food and water. That's part of the sponsors that we have. If you're hungry and you're like, I want to stay, but I'm starving, if you just go next door, go next door, tell them you're from here, they'll give you a discount. It's some decent Venezuelan food over there. And just let them know you're here, they'll bring it to you, so you don't even have to miss out much. So you can do that. We have a podcast called Wizards of Ecom. Unlike Amazon, I can request positive reviews. So I would love as many positive reviews as you can on the podcast. It's called Wizards of Ecom. If you sell in Espanol, we also have a Spanish Wizards of Ecom podcast. It's not translation. It's not like ChatGPT. It's not like AI translations of each other. These are like independent, like sibling shows with different topics, different guests, If you're bilingual, check out both. If not, whichever you prefer. But you'll see Wizards of Ecom. There'll be a blue one and a yellow one, and it'll be myself and Alexis, who's in Portugal right now. What else? So the podcast, I'd love for you to check it out. Our YouTube channel, we resume putting out new content this week. I would love feedback on that, especially if you notice me doing anything that's just embarrassing. It's very difficult to do YouTube. It's been something I've wanted to do for like 7 years, and I just talked myself out of it. I was too afraid to do it. So I invested in a course and coaches and everything late last year. And typical, I tell everyone, no analysis paralysis, take action, just do it. I took 4 months of like analysis paralysis before doing it. Getting editors in line, because I'm not video editing, doing all these different stuff, finally ready. We got like 8 videos in the chamber. First one comes out next week. So I genuinely would love the feedback. I would rather you tell me how horrible it is than say, great video, love it, keep it up. Like something that's not constructive at all. But like, I would love the feedback. I got thick skin, and I'm sticking with it. I'm giving myself 100 videos before deciding to quit. So I'll suck 100 times. I would like to get a little better every time is the goal. ¿Qué más? Announcement-wise, before we get into questions, we've been talking, huh?
The QR code with the sponsors.
Oh, yeah, I don't have it up there showing now, but the QR codes, normally we would have the QR code up here, and the QR code all goes to the same page with the sponsors, but I figure you can see the sponsors that are hanging up here, and you can get it. If you feel like turning around and grabbing one of the QR codes, you totally can. In most cases, it's not like an affiliate thing. They are sponsors, but in some cases, I guess, what is it, the disclaimer, I might get a little something if you use their services, but that's not the main reason why they're there. We talk about the Amazon Influencer Program a little more lately than not. A lot of people in the group that are doing it are putting up some really good numbers with the program. Is anybody here not familiar with that program? Because I feel like it might be a little relevant. Okay, might be a little. That's good. You're in the right spot. Yeah, you're gonna get everything answered today. Yeah. So the Amazon Influencer Program is something that just didn't exist on our radar in the way that I'm going to say it a year and a half ago, right? So you have something called the Amazon Associates Program on Amazon. It's been around a while, and what it is you get any product on Amazon, you copy a link, you send it out, somebody buys it, you get a commission. And if you sell 100 of them, you might be able to buy a blow pop. Like, it's such low commission. It's like, unless you have a massive following, you really don't make meaningful money on it. And that's the other part of it. Like, the average person that wants to start doesn't have a big community and an email list and all this other jazz, right? So like, what's the point? But that program came up with like a sister program called Amazon Influencer. And that's when Amazon came out with Amazon Live Video, which is, think of QVC or Home Shopping Network. Married and had a baby, and it's Amazon Live Video. And it's where people watch live streams and can shop and just click add to cart right there. So I did a lot of that for past brands and did really well. And then I stopped. I sold the brands, I stopped. What I didn't know is they came up with another program inside of the Amazon Influencer Program called Shoppable Videos. And what Shoppable Videos are is I can do a review of, say, this helmet, little video review. I don't even have to be on camera. Don't think avatar quality. This is just like point and shoot, hit record, maybe no video editing, or maybe like a simple little tool that allows you to like CapCut, like drag little pieces here and there, like simple. Post it on Amazon, tag this product, and now anytime somebody is on Amazon and they want to buy this, if they happen to look at the video review and then buy it, you make a commission of this product and everything else that was in the cart when they checked out. So what happens is you quickly start making, as long as you keep reviewing products, you quickly start making thousands of dollars per month doing this. And it opens up a lot of other streams to make money. So what caught my attention most about it is, because I really don't have the time or the infrastructure to all of a sudden say, let me start reviewing products and posting them to get commissions. But what kind of like a sore spot for me with this community is when somebody comes in and they want to start, they usually want to start their own brand, right? And there was a time, again, 15 years ago, when you did that with a few $100 or a few $1,000s. It's just not the case anymore. Like, it just requires a lot more money to be able to start your own brand successfully on Amazon. I put the number at 30 to 50,000 to start your own brand. Fortunately, there's a lot of other ways to sell, so don't panic. So what happens is when somebody starts, they're like, I'm just going to do arbitrage, which is going to the store, scanning products, and then like, oh, like this sells for $3 in the store and I can sell it for $20 online. Let me buy 10. It's a very simplified version. It is not that easy, but like so you get the point of what's going on there. And they do that. But Amazon has been very anti-arbitrage for like quite some time. Brands don't want you reselling their stuff, so you're getting IP complaints. Brands get frustrated that they can't remove you, so they make up lies and say you're selling counterfeit stuff. It's a very dirty game, and it's not what you're probably thinking of, oh, I want to start something that's stable financially that I can start as passive income, an extra income stream, or to supplant my business. It's not that. But I didn't have a better thing to offer people who are coming in saying, I only have a few $100 to start, but I have this idea for a brand. The only thing I could tell them is arbitrage. So when this program came on the radar, I was like, man, you could start this with nothing. You could do it in under an hour a day. You don't have to buy inventory because you can start reviewing the products you have around your house. So it really got my interest. It was more like I just needed to see doing it myself and other people around me that it was actually working. Like, I don't want to get up here and recommend something that I've never done. So we did, and it does. Makes a ton of money. As a matter of fact, all those boxes you see back there now are products that have been reviewed and are now actually being resold because we don't need them anymore and they take up too much space. So you might see some people coming in today just paying cash now to get some of these products. So now we're almost doing, I'd say we're averaging about $500-600 a day just on the resale side. We're doing about $3,000 a month in the commissions from the reviews. And there's a whole bunch of little extra streams that you could make from doing the program. As a private label seller, selling my own brand, like, I don't know the exact number, again, it's been 15 years. I was not putting $3,000 in my pocket in profit in the first few months of starting that brand. I was not. So the fact that there is something that truly allows you to not invest in any inventory, spend a few bucks from your house, and that within a couple of months you're making $3,000 a month, that's a big deal. Like, that's your mortgage, right? So it's obviously caught on with a lot of people that are just starting or other people that just want extra money to throw at their advertising spend on Amazon. But this last week, there was a lot of cool updates with the program. Touching on a few of those are, they're now giving Amazon influencers or creators different stars as like your star level, which would be like platinum, gold, silver. And they're just rolling out a lot more benefits for creators to be able to use on the platform. So cool times there. Anybody else not started selling, by the way? So like I could talk, because I'm about to help you out big time in getting started, but I'm wondering if there's anybody else here that's in the starting stages or has any other questions about their business or beginner questions that I could answer.
Not at this minute.
Yeah.
I'd be curious, and maybe you can touch about it later
Sure.
if you want. Why do you think the number changed to start the private label brand
Yeah.
from thousands to 30, 50? Like, I wonder,
Yeah.
what do you think changed?
Okay. So repeating the question so people on the stream can hear it is, which I need to get those cubes out, by the way. Tom, could you pass those cubes out, please? You don't have to talk into the cube, but if it's near you, it'll catch your audio, and you can literally toss it, and if you accidentally hit somebody with it, it would not hurt. And it's not fragile, so just so you know. And if it bothers you having it close, you can move it, no offense. It's more just like trying to create a better experience. But the question was, why do I think private label went from, I exaggerated earlier, a few $100. I don't ever know it to be that low, but a few $100 to now $30,000 to $50,000. I'm even gonna say closer to 50 than 30. I'm gonna list those reasons. First, I wanna say, I have 15 years experience doing private label. If I needed to prove a bet with you that I could launch a private label with 3K, I could do it, right? I could leverage all my experience and I would just launch like a pipe cleaner this thing selling for like $14. I get it for 50 cents. It's making me 60 cents profit per sale. And at the end of the year, I could pay my light bill. But that would just be trying to get too technical on it. Nobody here is starting a brand to pay their light bill or their phone bill, right? We're shooting for 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, like that's what's going on. So when I say to start a private label, it takes $30,000 to $50,000. I'm talking about you're starting something that you want to be able to make at least an amount of money that could get you to stop working, or your significant other to stay home, or get out of crazy debt. Like, that's what we're talking about. Is that fair? Okay, with that in mind, what's changed is some of the major ones are competition. Competition on the platform every year just goes up an insane amount. Not just Chinese competitors coming on the platform, but just the competition is fierce. On Amazon is pay to play a lot more now than what it used to be. So what that means is if you're selling this product and you list it on the platform, it's going to sit comfortably somewhere on page 20, and it is never going to be seen. And the only sale it's going to get is like when your grandmother goes on the site and wants to support you. So the way you get sales from day one is you run a paid ad, and you'll put like alkaline water. Now when somebody searches alkaline water, your listing comes up. And by the way, alkaline water is not a cheap keyword. So your product starts, it's got 0 reviews, and you're paying $2 a click per keyword, and you might have to use 8 clicks to get 1 sale. So you spent $16 to get 1 sale, but you make $4 profit on this. So like you're underwater by 8, you're hoping somebody subscribes to this thing. Like that's what it is. So one of the ad PPC ad budget you need, or paid ad spend that you need to successfully launch a product on Amazon right now is going to be on the low end thousands per month. Again, could I get $500 and tread water? Yeah, but again, that's not what we're doing. Nothing about a launch is $500 worth of rocket juice coming out to launch this thing. It's go all in, you're launching. So PPC cost has gone up a lot, which is pay-per-click advertising. Shipping has dramatically changed. We used to ship containers when I started and complain at like $2,000. I mean, you could 3x that easily now. Warehousing has gone up dramatically. So logistics across the board. The cost for products. And then the other one is, I'm glad the whole team came today. Yeah, the other one that a lot of people don't consider here is, and I said something to them and now I drew a blank on what I was going to say, is, it'll come back to me. So we said ad cost, we said logistics.
The price of the product?
The price of the product has gone up a lot. Oh, that helped me a lot, thank you. The other thing to consider here is when a lot of people say, how much does it take to start private label? They're thinking about the inventory of the first round. And I from experience, I know this, I've done this wrong. You're gonna get burned. Just the turnaround time that you have on Amazon, that's not how you do it. So you shouldn't spend more than 30 to 35% of the budget you have on inventory, because you need another 30 to 35% to operate and do your ads. And you need another 30, 35% to reorder. Otherwise, you're going to out of stock, lose all your gains, and need to come back with it. So when you factor all that in, 30,000 means 10,000 in product. That's not a great deal. If you're looking at a 2,000 minimum order quantity, $5 per product. I mean, we've really limited the types of products we can get there. And that's not considering things like just the initial startup costs, like that are one-time costs, like your trademark, your images, your creative, your listing, your UPC codes, a lot that could be thousands of dollars in and of themselves. So that's mine. You have an alternative on that though?
No, I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean,
No, but this type, I know I'm only saying that because I think this is your first time. Like, we could have different opinions, and it's good for everyone. Like, I don't know you, so I don't know if you your thing is like you launch private labels for $2,000, so it'd be good to take your point
I
on
mean, I've been selling since 2017.
Sure.
We did 5 million revenue. I sold the brand. Now I'm working on a new brand, but usually like the number I tell people that I talk to is like 15K, right? So I'm just always curious to hear your thoughts. Why? What do you think on that? But it makes sense. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I see this on my brand right now. The PPC costs are probably 2 to 3x what they were when I sold in 2020.
Yeah, you sold in 2020?
So I sold the brand at 2021. So until 2021. Yeah.
So you got a nice kick out because you enjoyed 2020 and 2021 growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot's changed since 2020, just since 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back. So I hope that helped some. So when you start selling, you have a few options. What I like to ask when somebody's starting is, first of all, like what sort of my daughter's thing, what sort of time budget you have per week that you have with everything else that you need to do that you could put towards a business. What budget you have that, not like how much money you have to your name, but more like what budget you have that you, at the end of the day, can take a risk with to try to start something. And then another one that I like is like soft skills. Like, are you a big TikToker with a big community in X niche? If so, that would really influence me on like the type of product I think you should do. But if you wanted to share any of that, I could give you a much more specific answer. If you don't, I could just go general.
I have a regular 9 to 5 right now, which is what I would love eventually to be able to quit. So I would say maybe I have all weekends and a couple hours each day. And as far as a budget, maybe 20,000. But I am not a TikToker.
Well, I have my AirPods in. I totally forgot I had them in. Okay. So I think arbitrage is out. I mean, you're not going to want to like finish work and go start hitting stores scanning. I mean, you could, I mean, if your back was to the wall, but it doesn't sound like it is. It just sounds like you want to improve, right? The Amazon influencer program that we described, normally I'd be talking to you right now and I'd say, you want to go to wholesale or private label, why don't you start doing some arbitrage, get your feet wet, learn the system, and then quickly go in that direction. But the Amazon influencer program, I feel, that we just talked about would be an excellent one to do instead of me saying that. You do have the budget and the time for wholesale, Amazon wholesale. Even though in the very beginning, I think you're going to be very tight on time because the learning curve for Amazon wholesale is pretty intense. I don't think people give it enough credit. So your extra time Monday through Friday is gone. And like that 2-3 hour period, that's gone. And your weekends will just be gone for a long time, completely gone. And it's going to be, I think the learning curve on wholesale is a difficult one. People just don't give it the respect it deserves. But it's it's fierce, yeah. So you could go in that direction. And what wholesale is too, by the way, is there's products that are already selling on Amazon. And you see those things. And again, this is a very simple, just so you get the concept now. You see that they're selling online. You jump over to Google, you contact the brand, and you say, you're so-and-so from Miami, the small business owner. You'd love more information on selling their products. You get the catalog. They say yes. You get the catalog. You see that the price you could buy it for, and then the price it's selling on Amazon would allow you to recognize a profit. And then you buy. That's what that looks like. And then you share sales with other people that are doing the same thing, usually. Again, that's a very, the benefit of it is that the product is already selling. There's no risk of buying it and it's not moving because you only bought it, assuming you did your homework right, because it's actually selling and that you're allowed to sell it. No need to take photos, UPC codes, none of that jazz. It's just technically, if you did everything right, you start selling on day one. Like, you might start selling before you even realize your inventory checked in. It's like that. That's a very attractive part of that. You develop a relationship with the brand, and if you do that right, you can grow with them. They don't cut you off. They might give you preferred pricing. It's really good.
Are most brands selling themselves on Amazon?
Most are not.
Most are not?
I mean, if you just put all brands in the mix, if you said, are most brands that are currently selling in Best Buy selling themselves on Amazon, then the answer is probably yes. But there's so many brands on Amazon that are not known brands or globally known brands, or that you think of when you think of brands in the store, that the number is no. Like, the vast majority of brands are not selling direct. Yeah. And there's a lot of really big brands that don't want to sell direct. Like, that's a strategy. It's arguably not a bad one. Was that a car accident?
Sounds like it.
Every time I hear a boom, this might show you, I'm truly not this negative or like glass half full type of person, but they threw that building up right here at the end in like no time, and with like bridges and everything falling everywhere. I'm just like, I've just felt like that building is going to go down. It's bad. That's pretty negative. Yeah, I saw it go up, and I was just like, something just seems really wrong. They didn't even build it the way I normally see something built. Like, they brought in these slabs and just stood them up, and I was like, nah, I don't feel comfortable, you know? But, okay, so that's wholesale. And there's a lot of opportunity of brands that don't want to. And there's so many flavors of selling wholesale to do. Like, you might be exclusivity with the brand. You might be, I want to create my own unique variation of this brand with them. You might want to bundle it. I mean, there's so many different flavors of what you could do with each of the selling models that I'm saying, that that's what excites me about the Amazon side of selling online. Then you have PL wholesale hybrid, which is a very attractive model right now, especially if you're like, I don't have the experience yet, or the stomach, like, which you probably attest to. Like, some of this is, I go through stuff now on a weekly basis that when I first started would just keep me up all night. And I was like, that's it, this is where it goes down. You know what I mean? This is where it ends. But then now it's like, this is nowhere near as bad as what happened in 2010, and everything worked out. So it's like, you just get more accustomed to like operating in a bad situation. So if you're thinking, I want to be on private label, but I might not have the budget, I definitely don't have the experience, I don't have the stomach for it, PL wholesale hybrid is a phenomenal middle ground there. And what that is I'm going to give my junky example that some of you have made fun of me on, but let's say you have, I'll do the popcorn one. Let's say Pop Secret popcorn. Maybe you've heard of the microwave. I think it's like everyone who ever ate microwave has his microwave Pop Secret popcorn. And if you went to them to open an account, they would say yes. The problem is what you would buy it for and resell it on Amazon for, there's probably no money, no profits, so why do it? But if you also opened an account with them, and then you went over to, say, AliExpress, which is like have you ever shopped on Ali? Okay, so you get it. So you go to AliExpress and you buy some food grade gloves. I don't know, pink, black, I don't know, regular. Like, you buy some food grade gloves, and you put this together now with your own UPC. You now have a listing that's yours because of the food grade gloves, that has your brand on it, your trademark, but it also has a Pop Secret popcorn item bundled with it, and we'll call them butter blocking gloves, so somebody can eat their popcorn and not get their fingers dirty. So your cost to go in on the gloves is almost nothing. It's AliExpress, so it's low and minimum order quantity. You've not changed the weight really or the shape of the actual product that you're selling, yet you have a listing that has Pop Secret popcorn in the title, so you're getting a lot of exposure on search. So it's a way to say, let me leverage the heck out of this search on Amazon, which I should have said that earlier, by the way. Like, one of the other benefits of wholesale, the reason why it does get all this search is sales is because there's a lot of people searching for it already. Getting that engine going is expensive because you have to do it. The other way you do it is with ads. So, and influencers and a lot of other things, but to keep it simple, keep it beginner hour, you're doing it with ads. With PL Wholesale Hybrid, you're leveraging some of that existing search. You have permission from the brand. To me, that's critical. You get approval from, you could pull this off without asking, but you're asking for problems is what you're doing there. Get approval from the brand to do this. Almost all of them say yes, especially the ones that say we don't sell to Amazon sellers on the wholesale side, because you're not asking to sell on their listing. You're not siphoning sales away and being a bottom feeder in their eyes. You're creating a totally different listing. It's a +1 for them on sales, right? So you create this other one, you now have a brand. Benefit there is you do have a brand. You have a branded storefront on Amazon. You got all that good stuff going on that you can build on. So it's a way to get into private label much more affordably and hedging a lot of the risk, right? So that's one step. And then finally you have private label.
Camera went off.
The camera went off. That's not a good sign, right? Is my audio still good on it though? Can you ask them? Let me just see if I can toggle the camera. But you have private label, which I think is where everyone should try to go, to be honest. Let me reach over you. There we go. I don't know if it's going to keep going off. It happened like 2 weeks ago. It was toggling on and off, but it should pop.
Audio's fine?
Okay, audio's good. At least there's that, right? They can get the podcast experience. No video. Private label's where you should be. Private label, that's yours. You own it. You can sell it. I'm up to 17 exits in the last 15 years. So something that people don't tell you is you really don't make money when you're actively selling your brand. You make money when you
Sell the brand.
Yeah, so get another point of view. Your big payday, I'm assuming like everybody else, came at the end when you exited.
Big money, but yeah, I mean, the biggest one is
Right.
when I sold, cash-wise, yeah.
The majority of the time that I'd be selling my brands, I was paying myself nothing that justified the amount of risk and time that I was putting in it. But I think that's where you want to go. Like that's the ultimate for it. However, if you want to leave your job, private label is horrible to leave your job in the short term. My 2 cents. All the little groups that I'm in of like big sellers, the one thing they have in common, almost all of them, is that all of them had a job or a source of income to maintain their quality of life and maintain what they're doing while they grew this thing and can just reinvest the profits. I'm one of the few people that I know that was stupid enough to not do that and just like quit their job and went in and did it. So the fact that you have a job, I think, is if you did go private label, that would allow you to have an excellent shot at succeeding. Yeah, so, because look, if you get this product and you want to sell it private label and it starts doing good, say you ordered 1,000 pieces, it's doing great. You want to order 2,000 pieces, so you get the money from your sales, you dump it back in, and it starts growing. You keep putting the money back in and growing this inventory. At what point are you saying, well, I need to order 3,000 more pieces, or I need to start paying myself a few $1,000s a month? No, you stick it back into the business. You're trying to grow this thing. And then you're like, wow, the data here says, this is a horrible match, but like these camera would be an excellent addition to our catalog. So now you fuel it with even more money for photos and listing creation and everything. You keep building it. It's rare in private label that in the first year or two that you're paying yourself something meaningful, in my experience. Not the case so much with wholesale and the other models, even though there's an element of that with wholesale for sure. So I find one of the worst Amazon seller business models to have, if your goal is as quickly as possible, make my salary and benefits and cushion to leave. Private label is like the absolute worst thing that it's so not synonymous with great cash flow. Like it just sucks a lot of freaking money. All right.
I was, by the way, you talk talking. So, for all the Amazon Jenkins, on average for Amazon sellers, and they're looking for the profit RI, like after everything, like 30%, right? 30%. So, let's do like a formula here. The goal is we're gonna leave the 9 to 5 job. And for 30%, we're looking for, on average, for the product to return back to us. So how much investment we have to put in, and the way equivalent we can leave the job, 9 to 5 job.
So you're making 30% profit,
Yeah.
and you need to make how much?
So like for what level we have to put into there, enough for us to leave 9 to 5 job. Oh, that's the time, oh, we're gonna leave.
Yeah, but I need to know how much the person's making in their 9 to 5 job for me to do that. Like, are you asking me how much money you need at a 30% profit margin to replace a $250,000 a year income?
Let's say 40K then.
40K.
Yeah.
So 250,000? 250. I don't think you would. I think if you got really good at what you picked, under 300,000 in capital circulating to be able to do that. I mean, at 30 that, and building in some cushion. Let me think about this.
Because the goal for, I think a lot of people, they want to leave their 9 to 5 job, and the bus
Yeah,
will be at the same level.
I like that. I think that's more than enough. Anybody? What do you want to chime in? 30% profit
You
margin.
need 120,000
Whoa.
sales every month to, or a year.
Right. In sales.
40,000,
It's depending on also from the rotation of the product.
Right.
Yeah, something's going to sit in.
I think at $300,000 that you have, rotating it, and you're not firing on all cylinders, but you're also not screwing up and sitting on a lot of inventory. I couldn't imagine that you couldn't pull that off. Yeah.
I would just do the Amazon influencer program and make $4,000 and make $48,000 a year, and not have to worry about all the bells and whistles, and then maybe decide after that, double that, and then take that and invest into a wholesale That's what I would do.
I did a meetup presentation. You should have access to it in the vault, which was, it's the one that says, if I needed to hit 7 figures if I had to go from 0 to 7 figures in 18 months, what I would do. And one of the first things I said in light of the Amazon influencer program was pretty much that, like, do the Amazon influencer program until you're making X, get a percentage of that, put it into PO wholesale hybrid, and then go into wholesale. But 40,000's I would even argue, like, if you're trying to replace 40,000, I don't even think Amazon's the best thing to do that. Like, why don't you just do some Airbnbs? Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Ting, I'll tell you, I took a page out of Carlos's book, and I was actually reviewing products, but getting brands to send me their products. And today I sold my second item off of OfferUp.
How much?
And it was like $190 for one item, and the other day it was $300 for an item. So these are items that were sent to me for free. I got to review them, so the chance of me making money and commission is there. But in addition, I was able to resell them. Now, I'm not looking to resell $20 items, I don't want to do that, but if it's something reasonable, I can resell it. So think about a niche or category that you want to be in that has, a reasonable ticket item to it, or, I don't know, electric scooter or something.
Yeah.
Air conditioning unit, ceiling fans.
So the weekends are better than the weekdays, but today at 147, I wanted to say it initially, but I feel like these types of numbers are more discouraging than they are helpful sometimes. But we already broke $1,000 in resale this morning, like cash in reselling the products. Those same products, assuming, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but those same products are not going to make me a fraction of that over the next 3 months in commissions on the platform. So like 40, there's so many options you have with 40,000 that are easier than most of the Amazon selling models.
I would even add on that you don't have to be an Amazon influencer to do this. You could
Yeah.
reach out to brands, make videos for them, make content for them, give them testimonials, give them whatever video content they may want in exchange for a free product that you could potentially turn around and resell.
Yeah, 40, because that's,
If you're not in the influencer program, you're just not trying hard enough, in my opinion.
yeah. A lot of the people, especially when we're reaching out to the brands, a lot of them don't care too you-know-what's about Amazon. They don't even want a video. They want like your face icon and can you write a testimonial of what you think about it? Like, because it means so much to us because we're thinking about videos and commissions, but like, it actually makes a lot of sense. When you go to most people's websites, they have, I just assumed they were all fake, but they have testimonials from somebody saying they really like the product. But we're close to like an every other day, $1,000 day type of thing. And that's not even with the $3,000 a month commission. So I like Tom's point there.
I bet there's a lot of our videos
On the vault.
Yeah, like a situation like us. I want Chris to leave his job so we can do full-time Amazon, but the debt and they have to work on, and there's a lot of pressure on our shoulders.
Yeah, you guys sometimes reach out to me, and I'm not going to share any specifics, but like you guys sometimes reach out to me and share some details with me. But like with what I have, my unsolicited advice, I don't think Chris should leave his job right now. I think he should get some seriously like a few other solid, proven streams, and then revisit the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm assuming health insurance comes through him, and like a few other things. Yeah, baby, I would hold on to that. From experience, I gave up everything and just said I'm gonna be a real entrepreneur. And a real entrepreneur was a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, a lot of $5 footlongs. Like, it was not fun.
I have a question. So, can I ask, let's say I'm wholesale seller, right? I have thousands of SKUs. Can I do video reviews of my inventory?
No.
No. Can someone I know
You don't,
do that?
I'm gonna say the answer is no. I'm just really, I'm conflicted on it. The safe answer is no. But the verbiage sort of on this, you're allowed to review products that you own, right? So if you're like me, and like say you have that many SKUs on the wholesale side, and that's still about 15% of my business, I would occasionally keep this cool thing and I'd have it in my house. Like I would have this, like, we used to sell these Canadian whiskey glasses. I still have a nice set at my house. I could review that.
But like, inventory comes through my warehouse anyway, so like I can physically make a video, or my assistants can make a video. But like, is it against Amazon policies?
I think to be safe, because of the ability that you could make money on the platform, I think the safe answer is don't review any products in the influencer program that you're selling. But I really feel like in the spirit of what's there, it's your brand, not to sell. I mean, you could resell other stuff that's in your house, without a problem. So you have to figure out like what you're comfortable with. How about this? If I had a warehouse full of stuff that was wholesaling and going through, I would first try to see where I could get that reviewed on an account that has like nothing to do with mine, like just make sure it's separate. But I would honestly say that if I couldn't, which I totally could, I don't find that to be so risky if it's a reselling thing. Like, so you mean that if I'm reselling a Disney frozen princess doll, and I'm reselling those, that they're gonna mistakenly think like I can't review any Disney Frozen stuff, like ever, if I've sold that whole catalog? Like I think you gotta interpret it the way you do, but it'd be so easy just to create a separate account and have it run under that other account and then do it.
But how easy it is? Because like now with all these Amazon checking all your personal information, all the share of ownership.
Well, I'm not talking about creating a separate seller account. I'm talking about creating a different influencer account or a different buyer account for your influencer account.
So Amazon will not connect them.
Well, you're allowed to have 5 different buyer accounts per household,
So,
first of all.
So that buyer account can review these products?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the buyer account can. So I would just, to stay as close to the letter of the whole thing, I would just open up a separate buyer account, have an influencer account on that one, and then, yeah, I would do every single product that goes through.
All right.
But
Yeah.
also, as a wholesaler, you are not the only one sending the product, so.
It's a, yeah, but I could see, the rule talking about reselling the product, like, the safest way to interpret it is do not, if you are selling this product, do not review it. But I really, as a matter of fact, I know wholesalers in this group who are doing that and have never had an issue, but you don't until you do.
Well, do you
Right.
do that on your personal account?
Yeah, look, right now, like a year ago, there was a lot of guessing. But right now, if you have a social media account that's seasoned, that's over 2 years old, has 5,000 or more followers, the most important thing here is seasoned. You can't fudge that. So it's over 2 years old. You get 5,000 followers on it. So if you don't have that, but you do have the, over 2 years, you boost your account to get the followers, the likes, or whatever. Get over 5,000. And then post once or twice a day for 10 days. I don't know anybody, not one, who follows that on their first round of getting approved, not second or third denial. That is getting denied. So like, it's as close to 100% as possible. The only exceptions that come in there is if your social possibly has no face picture of you whatsoever. It's political. It shows a lot more skin than Amazon's bots like. Something like that, then that's it. But otherwise, as close to 100% as possible. Any other questions?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Learning
I
about.
mean, oh, go ahead. Now, if I had a wholesale account like you have, I would have my girlfriend, my wife, my daughter open up a brand new Amazon account in my house and apply for the influencer program on that other Amazon account that's not tied to your wholesale account. Make sense? It's very,
Yeah. Or arbitrage. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What other questions we have? Yep.
I have a question. For like a listing, a PL listing that has been listed, we have inventory in there, but we've made no sales. Is there any hope with that? What would be like your like next step on that one? Nothing has been sent to buying.
You created a listing on Amazon. It's a your own brand, private label.
Private label.
You sent inventory to FBA, and there has no sales.
0 sales.
You've never run any ads,
No.
so you're just like paying storage fees.
Not ridiculous.
That's pretty much, that's what we were saying earlier, is like Amazon has become a pay-to-play. If that product doesn't have like existing search or it has a lot of competitors that are, yeah.
Highly competitive.
Yeah. I really don't think much will change. Like in the event that this was Christmas and it was, something that got picked up there and all your other competitors sold out in the Christmas run, you may notice that all of a sudden you start getting an increase in sales. But the amount of time between now and Christmas, and it's been sitting there for how long? I guess a better question would be why.
No time.
We just kind
But
of.
you could set up the ad now. But you could set up the ad right now. Like, I mean, anything would be better than it just sitting, like, you're doing the only thing, and it's with all the love in the world, but like, you're doing the only thing right now that guarantees not a good outcome. Now, have you learned something since you sent it to now that you're like, that said you no longer want to sell it anymore, or?
Yeah, this is the one, I think we had some questions a couple of weeks ago, but we never did we had some other things going on.
Right.
Personally, to stop us from following up with these.
I mean, recall it, turn on ads, destroy it, but like, I would, it's something or get off the pot. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a scenario where it might be more of an advantage to self-ship rather than FBA?
Is there an advantage to self-ship over FBA?
Is there a scenario?
Yeah, well, I'm one of the scenarios. So I sell, I mean, we'll do 90 million in live insects. So like, we sell live insects. So that's no FBA. Like,
Right.
furniture, no FBA. For most furniture, like, well, they're hazmat warehouses now, but meltables. So you have chocolates and it's summer. So yeah, there's scenarios. Like you have a product that is prohibited from being in an FBA warehouse. If your competitors are on FBA and you're not, I mean, it's like a picnic with no sandwiches. Yeah. What else do we got? You got like 1 more minute if anybody has anything. No? All right. Okay, so we don't have anything going up on the TV screen-wise today for the presentation, and this is the first time I've actually started a presentation off with an apology, but we're going to go over 100, 150 plus, if we can even get to all of them, and I'm going to try, of the different things you do from beginning to launch to be able to launch your product on Amazon. I'm going to try to kind of say, but before I say one, I'm going to try to kind of say, this is what I do, but I don't know anyone else that does this. This is what I've seen if ignored. You know, it's going to be bad for you, and this is just the standard, what everybody should do. Expanding on each one of them, even for a few minutes, would exceed the 90 minutes we have to do this. But that's not why I want to start this with an apology, which I've never done. This exists in my head. I do this day in and day out and have for 15 years. About 10 minutes before we started this presentation, I realized since I'm not doing slides, some of you may want to write down step 1, step 2, step 3. I don't have them numbered. So I just have them in my head and I'm going to go through them. So I tried to scramble to organize them in a specific way that we're going through them, but I don't have them enumerated. I know a lot of you have been asking me for this topic, so what I'm willing to do, based on the feedback here, is I'll create a really nice resource that has all these steps, and I'll add to the steps as time goes, and I'll share that with everyone. So you have it. But again, it's still going to be a great meetup. We're still going to cover that same topic, but you wanted the 1, 2, 3? Oh, she's going like this, and she's so mad. I'm like, oh my God, this is what I was afraid of.
You missed the kiosk here.
Oh no, let her roam around. If you want, like no issue whatsoever.
Chris wants her snack, and I don't. This is hers, so she took over to grab my. She feed him.
Chris wants her snack, and then she decided you wanted it for her, and then she decided to feed Chris.
Yeah, so I'm.
Daddy's girl. Yeah, I like it. My daughter's heading that way too. My wife hates it. Absolutely hates it. It was like first day of school, and she's like, the teacher said only one parent can go in. Who do you want? She goes, Papa, Papa. And she's like, that's it. She wants Dad to go in and do it. And my wife looks at me like, what? Like I did something wrong, and I'm like, just being me. All right. So I'm breaking this down into sections. So the sections are going to be, and I'm not just looking at this helmet. I made some notes here, but I'm breaking the sections down into product research, email list building, sourcing, product development, supply chain, listing creation, pre-launch, and launch. All right? Some of these earlier ones I'm not going to spend as much time on, like for example, within product research, if we were to get into competitor evaluation, keyword research, that could be several classes by themselves and still barely have enough time. So it's enough to say this is a step that you should do. Where we're going to start spending a lot of time is when we start getting into basically email list building, which is more of something that I think is super important to do, and I've always done pre-launch, and sourcing and product development, which is a lot of things there. If you don't do the pre-launch and pre-launch correctly, I feel like your launch is doomed. Like, you know, just like if you pick a bad product you're kind of like, a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about after this doesn't make sense. If I'm going to talk about, man, TikTok is amazing, but you sell, you know, the little stoppers that go on the bottom of the legs of those chairs you're sitting on, it's going to be a very difficult, cool video to do. So like, a lot of it depends on the product you selected, and puts in game a lot of opportunities or eliminates a lot of opportunities from there downstream. You with me? All right, love the energy. No, thank you. And by the way, any questions anybody has? Say something. Okay. So, starting with product research. This is about as debatable as Democrat Republican, but since we don't do that, you guys have heard me in the group say a lot. I'm very anti Me Too product. I really think we're almost at a state now on Amazon that if you're selling a Me Too product, you're just done. A Me Too product is, you see like 5 or 6 people selling this product on Amazon, you get this image, you jump over to Alibaba, you're like, oh my God, they also sell this, and they're willing to sell it to me for $2, and these guys online are selling it for $20. That's bad. Like, I think that's a horrible, horrible position to be in on Amazon. You don't want to do that. So what I do is I do something called, that I gave a horrible name obviously, but I call Stairway to PL. And that is, I like to be 4 to 6 steps or stairs away from the root category on Amazon. The example I like to give that I think really drives this home is like, you want to be in the kitchen and dining category, you want to do something in kitchen, way too broad, and you decide you're going to get into tableware, right? Again, way too broad. Bowls, ceramic bowls, ceramic soup bowls, ramen noodle ceramic soup bowls. In this range and on, like 4 to 6, and we could do this with almost any category. I did one a couple weeks ago, which was shampoo. Then it was pet shampoo. Then it was dog shampoo. That went bad. I killed it. I went into cat shampoo. Then we went into Sphinx cat shampoo. I don't know if you got, who was here to see that? The Sphinx cat is the one that has no hair. It's like this bald cat. Apparently they're very sensitive and super expensive, but it was a great category. Like, if you went into like dog shampoo that broad, it was a horrible category, tons of competition. So I like to go 4 to 6 deep to find the category. I've found that in that range, you're still looking at a 7 to 8 figure business. Rare to find a 9 in that range, but you're looking at a 7 to 8 figure business. And the next thing I do is I'm like, okay, that I found the product. I like to see that I can go 40 wide. And I don't mean 40 variations. I don't mean like we got, you know, Sphinx. I feel like if I say this fast, I'm going to say the wrong thing. Sphinx cat shampoo. For red Sphinx, for blue, no variations. I mean parents, 40 standalone listings that I could potentially launch in this niche. And again, I'm all for niche. I've never made it to 40 before exiting. I've usually made it to 13 and we exited. Like I've never been able to hit that 40, full transparency. So like, don't spend just make sure you can. Don't go too deep down the rabbit hole, like fleshing out what all 40 of these would look like fully built out.
But exited, you mean?
I sold the brand for a multiple. Yeah. Not every time was it this like super amazing multiple. Some of it was like equal exit, equal. I was about to get caught holding a big bag of you know what, but most of them were like really, really nice exits. The last one was 3 brands together in a roll up for over 7x, which is just mental. So yeah, that's what I mean by exit. Not that I quit. Good question. Once and to take a step back, personally, you don't have to do this. You could use Jungle Scout if you want, but personally, I like to get into products that I'm passionate about or would like to be passionate about. If you wanted some help in that vein, that's up to you. That's not even one of these steps. That's more of like a personal preference. An example of what I mean by that, though, is I work 100+ hour weeks. obviously stressed out. Doc says, hey, you need to chill out a little bit. I'm incapable of starting a hobby to relax. I get into a hobby and I'm looking at how this can be turned into a business. So, I thought about like, what is a relaxing thing that people do? It's such a foreign concept to me, you know? And I'm like, what is a relaxing thing that people do? And I was like, I immediately thought of the Karate Kid, and I was like, bonsai trees, you know what I mean? My mind went into building this out into a business. We did, and eventually I shared it with my friend over there who's got it to this day, and it's, I guess, a high 7-figure brand. But Tom over there started it, which was like conversations like bonsai. But I didn't know anything about bonsai at the time, and I was just like, I would like to be, I kind of think that's cool. I like gardening. That's what I mean by like to be passionate about. I knew nothing about it. I was curious, and this didn't fill me with dread. Like to do it would be something you obviously like to do. So once you've done that, stairway to PL, then differentiate. Let me see what I got. I like to see, again, without going too deep into the tools, what I like to see is I'll search for the main keyword or what I think the main keyword would be for that specific product. If it's shampoo for Sphinx cats, that's obvious, right? Don't go too deep in the weeds here if you've heard of like Amazon keywords and PPC and like search volumes. Like for right now, it is enough to say, how would somebody find this? If it's ramen noodle bowls, ramen noodle ceramic bowls, you can just search that and see it. What I like to see is I like to see a full battery of ads. And that means I like to see what I call headline ad, sponsored brand headline ad, and I like to see the top 4 sponsored product ads. If I don't see any ads, that's an actual red flag for me. And that means there's probably not a lot of people searching for this. It's possible that it's also a great opportunity. But to me, it means this is a red flag. I need to look deeper. What I love to see also is full battery of ads, and some of these ads are not relevant to the search. So I search for shampoo for Sphinx cat, and I get a Labrador shampoo, I get a human shampoo, I get a general dog shampoo, and I get a Sphinx cat shampoo, and I'm like, whoa, I'm going to be super relevant on my ad when I run it. So like, this is a great opportunity here. You with me so far? Any questions? Okay.
What's the minimum search volume you're looking at?
That seems like a very simple question, but it's very difficult for me to answer. I don't care how small the niche is as long as I'm the one dominating it. So.
Would you pick a niche that has, I don't know, 300, 400 volumes?
Depends on the price point. I saw one that was like a 1,500 search word volume when we were doing who here was here when we discovered the mushroom hunter? Anybody? So like mushroom hunting? Yeah. Yeah, you remember? So we stumbled upon this when we were looking at how to source products using Etsy, and it just kind of came up accidentally, and we stumbled across this niche of people. There's all kind of accessories around for foraging mushrooms. A lot of accessories that go with it. Wasn't high search volume, but it would have been stupid easy to dominate that category. Yeah, I think you should do it. We saw another one that was like this wooden box. I don't even know how this works to this day, but it's like this little wooden box with some liquid in it, and you hanged it up outside, and it just attracted like carpenter ants and bees and like, what was it?
I think it was a bee catcher.
Yeah, for like ants and stuff like that. It was like not a huge category,
Yeah.
but
That one appeared randomly. I don't.
But the
I don't
huge-
know
But
where
if you're asking for search, right? I mean, how much in search? I mean, let's say you had only 300 search volume, but then you looked at the competition and there were 2 people, and there was nobody running ads. Why not take that single? You know, it's going to be an easy win for you, right?
yeah. So I would take that as long as it fit the other category, which was like stairway to PL. Like, could I go 40 wide in it? I'm personally not interested in getting into something that there's only 5 different products that I can sell at the stage that I'm at. If I was just starting though, fantastic. You want to be the top seller of bee catchers on Amazon, it could totally be a 7-figure business. I've noticed, and I almost have it as like a, kind of like a rule of thumb, is like non-sexy products have high profit margins. And the thing is, if we're all at a bar and I told you guys that I sell iPhones, the newest iPhone that comes out, I sell it. All of you would be like, that is the coolest thing in the world, except for you Samsung people who are not that, never mind. No, but you would think that was the coolest thing in the world, but in reality, it forced me to have this like massive line of credit and my profit margins would be nil. But if I said that I sold the pins that go in the charging cables of the iPhone 9, you would probably be like, you'd forget what I sell, but I probably kill it on profits. So I don't know if the 9 is even a thing, but like, what I'm getting at is like the unsexy products usually have much higher profit margins. So when you hear like Sphinx Cat shampoo, ceramic ramen noodle soup bowls, and stuff like the carpenter bee catchers, those usually have really high profit margins and very low competition. One of the other things, this is a relatively new step for me. So I don't want to be a hypocrite here. I've actually not done this specifically, but I would be doing it for my next product launch. And it stems from I did a podcast episode on it. It stems from a course that I took on YouTube, unrelated, but it really does tie in. And on YouTube, when you're creating videos, if you don't get the thumbnail, if you don't kill it on your thumbnail of the YouTube video, you're not going to get clicks. You're not going to get people. There's no chance they watch your video unless you get them to click. So there's a saying and then after the title, after the thumbnail, there's the title. And then there's that little hook you say as soon as you start the video. So title, thumbnail, hook, TTH. So there's this TTH method to YouTube, and I kept looking at it and just thinking, man, this has so much in common with like Amazon. And that is, if the title of your product is not right, you're not going to come up in search, you're going to confuse people, the algorithm and people. If your main image is not right, your thumbnail, it's not going to get the click. You know, if you got a garbage image and you're running ads, you're just not going to get clicks. So the whole title, thumbnail, hook, and the hook is your second. For Amazon, it's a little difficult to equate to the YouTube version, but it's a combination of your secondary images and your bullets. So title, thumbnail, hook for YouTube, applying it here. Now how I would apply it, and why the YouTube version of it gets me is that even in YouTube, if you want to succeed, you do not script a video. You don't put any of that work in until you can nail the title, thumbnail, and the hook. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Because it doesn't matter if you deliver amazing anything in this video if you can't get people to click on it. So for me on Amazon, that means why hunt down factories? Why negotiate with factories? Why order samples? Why do any of that until I know that I can win with my title, thumbnail, and hook? And what that looks like, and I've started doing this with other people, so again, full transparency, and I will be doing this with my next brand, is you can get a gorgeous render of your product created, the product idea you have in mind. And then you can run tests on PickFu and Product Pinion. You go to pickfu.com, you go to PickFu or Product Pinion, you can get your product, and then you can get your competitors and put them side by side and say, you know, assuming the same reviews, assuming everything's equal, which one would you buy? And you put it out there to people that are relevant to your niche, and within 30 minutes, you have not only votes as to which one they would pick, but explanations as to why. To me, it is bonkers to proceed to the next steps, which we're going to get to, the sourcing, the samples, all this other stuff, without doing that. Because that's ultimately what you need. If you're sitting side by side on a product detail page with some of your competitors and you can't win there in that main image, everything else is going to become exponentially harder.
Why not look at your competitors' keywords, like the leader in that category, and just use similar terms?
Well, keywords would be something totally different. Here I'm talking about the main image.
No, I'm not talking. I went back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off there. But yeah, I understand about the image. Going back to what you were talking about earlier.
Which one? Which part?
Regarding for your search. Like you were talking about the Sphinx Cat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course, you want to dominate it. You want to be like the single Sphinx Cat shampoo seller. But you may not, but there may be a better seller out there too. So why not just pick up what they're doing, so to speak, copying?
I probably didn't communicate that right. So no, I don't want to be I'm not looking to be the only seller of that particular
Not
product.
necessarily the only seller. You want to be the biggest seller. You want to be the prime. later.
I want to see other sellers selling what I want to sell, like to an extent. Like if I want to sell a French press, I want to see that there's other French presses selling on Amazon and that people are searching for French presses. So I want to see that later on, and I don't know if this is what you're saying, and maybe I just haven't got to this, but what I don't want to do is I don't want to be an identical French press to them.
Well, not necessarily identical. Let's suppose that it says, your competitor says 4,000 sold in the last month.
Yep.
And you're looking at, I'm not saying, copy and getting, but why not, just sort of take their cues? Because I don't like that when somebody copies my photos. It's really,
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking their cues and seeing what works and using that. Let me see if I can give you an
Because if
example.
somebody's searching for French press, and there's a big seller out there, they've already done, obviously, they probably have done the research and figured it out.
That's where you start getting a little dangerous. I think you should take that and look at that. If there's a French press seller out there that's got 18,000, reviews, it's like, wow, why don't I just look at what they're doing and kind of model that? That's really tricky on Amazon because you don't have a time machine. Let's say that their French press, I don't know if I could do this with a French press, but like let's say their French press says, let's do a baby because this is an easy one. There's a bag, there's like a diaper bag or a backpack caddy when somebody has a baby. The tendency, and this is what happens sometimes, especially over the last 10 years in the group, there's been a lot of moms that come through and it never freaking fails. One of them pulls me to the side after the group and says, I got this amazing idea. It's a diaper caddy. And it's because that's such a big deal in their life right then. And I'm like, no. Well, there's already been 100 of those that flamed out really bad. Avoid it. But what happens is they create this listing for the diaper caddy, and it's diaper caddy, great for home and moving around the kitchen and in my car, and also traveling to the Grand Canyon, and it's light. And they stuff this thing for every scenario you could possibly use for a diaper caddy. That's a really bad thing to do because you're confusing the hell out of Amazon's algorithm. So you'd want to start this off with like, let's say it was for a car, diaper caddy mobile. That's a bad title, but you just want it to be laser focused in that when you start as to what you're going for. And then with time, as you crush it and as you're dominating on those keywords, come back in there and add another, go after something else. So what you're looking at on that listing is God knows how many variations. But if they were starting from 0 reviews with that title, that probably would be a very bad title. So it's not comparing apples to apples, is what I'm trying to get at. However, looking at it, at the product, and I feel like I want to throw something in, most people that are starting to sell on Amazon are product agnostic. And they're just like, or they're like Tom, they're like, I'm passionate about cash flow positive. Right, that's the product that he was most passionate about, right? So like, that's what they're into, like, and again, that's do your thing. Nobody's perfect, right? So, like, you though, we spoke a few times. I mean, there's an existing business there, and there's a product line. This is what you're doing. Like, I'm not saying change it all up. Like, you guys are dialed in. You've already done research on stuff. This is for the majority. This advice is more for like the majority. There's other things you can do once you do what. For example, I know you don't want to say your exact product, I'm assuming, but let's say your product is a smart, what are those things? I started wearing them, but there's these blackouts that you put on your eyes to go to sleep, right? And let's say you had some AI in version 1 and it read how you slept and occasionally like did these little on your forehead to help you relax. I don't know, but say you had this, you like the idea, right? So like say you had this product and there was a bunch of other ones that are out there. There was a bunch of other ones out there. I would create like a mobile app or something. Like you've seen some of the examples we talked about. You can differentiate the product by adding in and coupling it with a mobile app. So now your main image, which one do you click on? The one that catches your eye and stops you is going to be the one with the mobile app, not the other one. So like what could you do differently in that main image or about your product to not be just a me too like everybody else? Because if you jump in and your product is just like everybody else's, and they have the established reviews and the velocity and the time on the platform, you're fighting an uphill battle. Like, somebody looks at all three of these and they're not running, if they're looking for your brand, they searched for it and they found it. But if they're searching for, help me sleep better, and you and the other two of those that I described came up, and there's 18,000 reviews, 14,000 reviews, and two, which one would you buy, right? And a lot of people, that example exists on Amazon, but the first two not only have greater social proof, but they also actually took the time and invested in great images. So that's what I mean. Yeah. Okay, so the whole title, thumbnail, hook, that's what I would do for all new products moving forward. It'd be like, I don't know, Miguel, like, you got a new product you want to come out with? Great. Render it, run it on PickFu. Until you can get a 70-30 split, don't move forward with it. But if you 70-30 split means 70% of the people said they would choose your product, and the feedback they gave you as to why makes sense, then once you have that, I would then move forward to the next step. I think it's a mistake that you order the product and it's being manufactured and it's on the way, and then you're like, let's run a test. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with the data at that point?
What do you use for split test?
PickFu. PickFu. P-I-C-K-F-U. See, I can, no, we have a code though. I could give you, if you reach out, I think it's called Wizard, but, and I think I get $1, which I'll thank you for.
$1 per opinion.
Yeah.
Usually you're gonna run it by 50 people at least, it's gonna cost you $50.
How many people do you ask?
I'm going to try to show you one that I'm allowed to show. Let's see. I'm trying to do this fast because I don't want to pull up. I'm trying to pull up a junky one maybe. Here, let's use this one. Here, this is actually a really bad one, but I'm trying to move fast and just show this because I have some stuff that I don't want to show that are other people's stuff, and I want to respect their privacy. And the reason I say this isn't a good one to do is I would have worded this one differently. So my question here is, if you were shopping on Amazon, which product would you rather buy? So this is a new product that's coming. Really? Did it just go off, or have I been talking the whole time and it's been off?
It was off on.
Wow. And you guys must have thought I went crazy. Okay. And for those online that we're just talking about a PickFu poll here, but this is a new product that's coming out. This is a new product that I'm going to come out with called Brunson Meat Co. seasoning, right? I'm going to come out with this. This is the #1 competitor. We're going for the same keywords as far as the spice, right? The only thing I'm trying to test here is assuming the spice and everything was equal, side by side with them, basically, which one of these would you buy? I targeted people that would be into this type of product, and I also, not only did I want them to choose which one they want, 29 to 21, I also wanted them to tell me why. So I start with looking at the loser. So first of all, I was super happy that I got 58 to 42. To be honest, that's too close for me. Like I said, I would want to go for a 70-30 split. But looking at this, I'm like, what happened here is I chose B because I love the deep brown color and the font on the front. I think Cowboy Crust is a unique and catchy name. So I'm going to file that away. Catchy name, brown. And I just chose 50 people on this. We could go into the thousands if we want. B seems to have a wider array of uses, while A seems more for meat and barbecue. So I'm like, okay, well, if my product needed to be for a wider array, is there some graphics, some little icons that I can add that have the poultry, the seafood? You know, these are ideas that I can iterate. And then when I do make those iterations with a designer on Fiverr for a couple bucks, without having the product and without having to do another print of labels, I can now come in and say, let's add this in and bump this QR code up and let's test it again on another 50 and see if these icons now, do we pull over these people that wanted to see that it could go on different meats? And you get the idea. Some of them are, what window? Oh, it stinks. Can I do, oh yeah. Okay, thank you. So you get the idea, right? Use the heck out of this. I use it to pick things for my wife, ideas, music before my videos. I test everything on this thing. And then there's another one called Product Pinion. Once you've dialed everything in on PickFu, what I like to do is you jump over here and they have something, watch this. They have something called simulated search. So what simulated search would do is it would simulate this feel, and I would come in here and put barbecue rub spices. This is a simulation, like this, I mean, we're looking at Amazon, but it would simulate everything we're seeing right here and would insert our product and the other products we want on that page in a search. So someone would now come in and do a simulated search, and we want to see which ones caught your eye. What are the top 3 products on that page that caught your eye in a real simulated search with all this other stuff going on? So do that before you get into samples and factories and all that jazz. Knowing this exists, it's just borderline irresponsible to not use it before you do it. Like
What's the website?
yeah, it's PickFu PickFu is your workhorse.
Right.
The only thing I look over at Product Pinion on now is the simulated search. And I'll run all this stuff through here. Like we're going to be bringing these up to a lot more in future meetups. You know, examples.
We used to do that simulation with PowerPoint, on PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So now it's so easy.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you guys wanted to see, I don't know, we could do it at the end. I don't want to take up too much time from today's presentation, but if you want to think about it right now, what kind of poll you'd like to see in real time to do a test on something we're saying, I'll set this up in a few minutes right now, let it run, and before we finish the presentation today, we'll have all the details we need. It's that easy. Just shoot some ideas to me or gather it so that we can do it. I don't want to take a lot of from today's time, but this alone should change. It just remove all guess from the situation. This is just a head-to-head poll, right? You can do all kind of different types of this. I got these results in 14 minutes. So you have head-to-head, round robin, ranked. I like to do a short one, say of 50. Let me stand for a second. I like to do a short one, say of like 50 at first. You saw that one, what was it, like a 42, 52 something, right? Yeah, 58, 42. I want to look at some of the feedback. Like I mentioned, add some icons over here of like poultry, fish, or whatever. Run another 50. I want to get as close to 70-30 as possible on main image. Whether it's adding in extra stuff to your product that looks aesthetically the same as some others, get that 70-30 split. Once we have it, do a simulated poll. Now I'm like, okay, we got it. This is the winner. And then what I like to do is, then I go in and I start adding some other data, like just backstretch sufficiently. I like to add some other data, which is, okay, well, when we start, it's not just head-to-head. When we start, my competitor has 1,800 reviews. I have 0. Let's test this now. Let's bring in, here's my product. I know I'm going to enroll it in Vine. I know I'm going to get 30 reviews. I know they're still going to be at 1,800. If I'm at 4.5, if I'm at 5 stars, 30 reviews, and they're at, with my image that I won, and they're at 1,800 reviews, 4.5 stars, head to head at these price points, no, at the same price points, because right now I'm testing reviews. Who wins? Be very difficult. If you have a 58-42, it's going to be very difficult to win overwhelmingly in that next poll if they're crushing you like that on reviews. If you're at 70-30 on the main image, and now you're at 30 reviews and they're at 1,800, you start seeing where you're stealing sales, right? So you want to play with this even more. Well, who's to know that I'm going to get 35-star Vine reviews? What do I look like at 4.5? What do I look like at 4, 3.5? So now you get an idea of like, what can I expect here on my conversion before I move forward with any product? And this is what happens if I'm at 4.5 stars. If my competitor is 18,000 reviews, 4 stars, what do I look like at 5 stars, 4.5? Like you get to play with all those scenarios super affordably using these. So mind you, we haven't even talked to a factory yet. I think that's important here, and I think this is something that everybody does backward, because they're racing to just add more products, and like they're already thinking of packaging. They're already thinking like, don't do any of that. We haven't even added packaging to this mix yet. Yeah, what was it?
Question, so you're saying you haven't even talked to the supplier yet?
Nope.
What if you do all this testing, then the product isn't even profitable, which I'm sure doesn't happen to you, and you reach out and it's...
Yeah, I shockingly I've never had that happen, because if other people are selling it, there is a, I could source better than you, but we're using the same tools. The gap is not so wide that I'm not going to be in the profitable range. One thing I can say that I sometimes do before this is I order samples from my competitors. Like I'll buy my competitors' stuff and I want to see what's coming in. Like I want to sign up for their newsletter on their website if they have one. I want to see how they start hitting me up to try to get reviews for their products. I want to see their sequences. Like I want to trigger all of that earlier. So sometimes I have the benefit of sitting and looking at the product. And if I see that I ordered these 4 or 5 products and all of them are like very, very strong black hat meaning against the rules, like heavily black hat tactics that are going on here, and that says, whoa, this is a very popular product with like Chinese competitors. I don't really want to pick that fight, right? I might move on. So you could learn something there, but no, I've never had a situation where ever that I was like, I'm probably going to get this and not be able to be profitable. Yeah, I also try to never get in, because I don't do Me Too products. I try to never get in and I'm like, oh, competitor selling it for $20. Can I be profitable at $20? No, I'm going in at 25. You know what I mean? Like, so this is irrelevant. If you're profitable at 20, I'm going to be profitable at 25. I want to not have a Me Too product. I want to create my own blue ocean, if you will, and be at 25, 29. Yeah, Tom?
Could you give,
or you?
No, I'm sorry. Could you give some examples of when you said, like, you see that those are black hat sellers? What would indicate that?
I open the box and it's full of cards telling me, I'll give you your money back if you review this product, or stuff along those lines. 100% rebate if you. So I was like, it's not a fair playing field like that. I'm not saying I would totally run from it, but the upside would have to look so good for me to still want to proceed with that. An example, I won't say the product unless Tom wants to, but Tom got into a product that looked great, and he was doing good with it. It was kind of inspired by Online Seller Cruise. And then some people came in, and they didn't cut him on price. They started selling it for like $1. I mean, exaggerating, but it was like a $25 thing. They just started selling it for $1. Like, he knew though, but like, and we knew before. And I was like, man, this type of product has a huge Chinese kick me sign on it, and it's like, ran it, did good while it did good. I think it's important that you know that though, and you make an informed decision. Then like, oh my God, what just happened? I got to pull my kids out of private school. You know. Tom.
I was going to say, when it comes to product selection, I think you have to think about things in two ways. Don't think that your product has to be so brand new that no one's ever thought of it before. If you have that idea, then that belongs on Shark Tank, right? You need to have people searching for the product already on Amazon for you to have a viable Amazon product. So if you're coming up with a left-handed broomstick, right? Nobody's searching for left-handed broomstick. That belongs with Carrie Grenier on Shark Tank, right? To show everybody a left-handed broomstick. So think about products that people are searching for. And I remember the first time, I'm gonna tell a story when I first met Carlos. He said, I'm gonna find you your product. I'm gonna give you a product that's gonna win. And I ran home and I told my wife, oh my God, Carlos is gonna give me, the Grand Poobah is gonna give me his amazing product. And I'm like, you know, it's probably gonna be this new iPad. It's gonna have this funky 3D thing to it. I mean, oh my gosh. So I meet with him and he goes, you're gonna sell, drum roll, bonsai pots. I don't look like a bonsai pot guy, do I? But
And then I'm telling him about like the whole thing here. Like I went and I at one point was like, this is gonna lead into soil. Like we put soil. I went and did it. I abandoned it. And at that point, I think his partner just wanted to leave.
yeah. So just look for areas that have a lot of search intent, but maybe not a lot of sellers, and then do what everything's been talking about before you kind of go and search for suppliers. I think that's kind of the reverse engineering that I would tell you guys to look for.
And pots happen to fit that backwards thing. Like you went with like patio, lawn and garden. Like I want to be outside, and you start stepping away, and eventually you landed freaking Mr. Miyagi and bonsai pots. So it's yeah.
Quick question. What profit margin are you looking for? Or if you're going to answer that later, feel free to.
No, I didn't have that there. There's no right or wrong answer there. It depends on like.
At least 30%.
I'll dive deeper. Yeah, I'll dive deeper. But instead of just giving this crappy answer, but it totally depends on like what your goals are and what you're doing. It really does. Like how quickly you're trying to leave your job, how much capital you have to start, and how quickly you need to like blow that up into something bigger. But nothing less than 30%.
Margin.
Profit.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say right now, if I just needed to give you a blank answer, I said if you want to find a product that has almost like the highest possible chance of success right now on Amazon, of succeeding, it's a product that sells between 100 and 250 bucks. That's the sweet spot on Amazon right now. With the fees, no one selling products in the $100 and $250 range right now is talking about profit compression, like, oh my God, I'm being starved out, and oh my God, all this competition. It's not, and it just so happens to be those usually have bigger profit margins built into them. Like, but if you get a product that sells for 50 bucks, you buy it for 50 bucks, and you're going to sell it for, 250, 300 bucks. That's great, but the majority of us can't do a 2,000 piece order when we're starting a $50 a unit economics. Like, yeah. All right.
But back to the big group, and you say you do the photo first and then you do the poll. And how can you generate those 2 photos?
No, she's good. Please let her. Don't.
How did you generate those 2 photos?
3D render. Well, one of them's a 3D render.
Okay, it's not real. You did
No,
take-
you don't need to do that. I mean, I technically could have used, not me, but I technically could have used AI or somebody that knows how to do AI and just had that thing created. But like, no, this is a 3D render. And this was, here is the shape of jar we want to use. There's a bazillion of those out there. And people that know how to do those 3D renders of graphics, that's 90% of what they need. Here's our branding, and here's an idea of what a label looks like that we might want to go with. That's
You
it.
can ask them fiber to make a label.
Yeah, look here.
This kind of jar, this kind of,
I think this is a great one. Fade visual. Yeah, these are good. This isn't a real, this isn't real. So fade visuals. Why 3D? This is all 3D. This is all renders.
How do you use it?
Say to create the product that we were just looking at, like to create this.
Fiverr, $20?
Huh? No, I want you to keep this in mind. Nothing, like we say, sourcing agents, PPC people, not all of them are created equal. So you could find something on Fiverr for $5 to do a 3D render. It's probably not going to be this crisp. You also don't need to spend what they charge you on Fade Visuals to create something like this. So you're trying to test here that what you're going to put out can beat the competitor. If you put a $5 render here and it's crappy, and all of a sudden an overwhelming amount of people pick this one, what you're being judged on is the quality of the image and not the product, and that just defeats the purpose. You're just losing money. So use whomever, Fiverr, Fade Visuals, whatever.
But thinking that that is the thumbnail that you're gonna have in Amazon, and that's
Right.
the thing that it's gonna sell.
Right. Yeah. And you might be like, wow, that's a bunch of money. That's a bunch of PickFu polls. That's a bunch of, if that gives you pause, move on to another product. Like, because you're gonna be spending a lot more than that. You're gonna be spending ads every day for the life of this product. Get it right, or you're gonna pay for it in spades.
There is a question on the chat. If everyone product is black, I'll make it red to help this stand up.
I love that. Color differentiation is a huge one.
Is that a crazy one, that orange?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Yeah.
This is actually to stay on PickFu. This is a PickFu test right here. So this is an aggregator who used PickFu, and they purchased this product, which looks like something that belongs in a vape shop. And they bought it for like a few $1,000,000, or yeah, about a few $1,000,000. And they ran some tests because they're like, this is the equivalent of everything's white, should I do red? And they changed it, and they did these tests, and this is what they came out with. This bright orange, angry orange. See if I can get a good clear picture of it. I guess it's not coming up anymore. But you see how they ran tests as to like which one would somebody look at, and then eventually, let me see, I think I'm selling something. How are you? Giselle? Talking to Giselle? Yeah. Which product?
Let's see.
Okay. I'm brand new. Yeah, this is what we're teaching how to sell online. You're welcome to attend. The classes are free. And look, there's real people. So
Thank you.
Sorry about that, but all for the good cause, as you can see. Talking about replacing the 40K. I think that just pushed us at 1,200 for the day.
You just made a perfect presentation for everything.
That's it. But that's it. I don't even have the time to treat this as a business. That's the Amazon influencer run. We're at 1,200 a day on the resell side. Like, so there's a commission side that you wouldn't even have to deal with that. But if I'm going to be interrupting the group, I guess you guys could accept that as a good cause, right? Making a sale. All right. What was that? Somebody asked a question. Oh, so the red and the white. Yes, that's a perfect example. Now, also remember that the defensibility of changing the color is not that defensible. So they went this orange. That helped them, but there's nothing stopping everybody else from going that orange. So it is a differentiator. It allows you to be a little defensible, but it's not highly defensible. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe I'm jumping ahead. As far as the visuals, of course, I understand how important that is. But what about video?
Video is important. However, look at this. So you're searching for something on Amazon. At this point, you're really not seeing videos, even though this is the #1 shopped on page on Amazon, the homepage, right? But even then, you're scrolling for a bit before the videos start kicking in usually. And we go back and we searched for barbecue rub spices, still no video. I don't want to click on somebody's ad, so we come over here. I'm assuming they don't even have a video. Let's go find one that, there's a lot of clicks you got to go into to like get it. Now, where I think video is most important on Amazon now, let me let this thing load. But we should see coming up a video ad right here. So that's the first spot that video is going to play a pretty important point on Amazon, unless you're talking about.
I know I have a video for my website, my company website, so I probably could easily transfer if it's shorter.
Yeah, or Amazon Live Video. But yeah, video is going to be impactful for like the actual ads. I do think video should be added to your listing because it helps convert. But yeah, so it's okay, don't stress. Kids can be kids. If people can't concentrate to learn something in their business because the kid's being a kid, then you're helping them because they're figuring out this isn't for them. You know, like there's so many other things to stress about in the business. And if somebody can't focus on this, like they've learned something very valuable today. Like it's good. Let her do her thing. Really. She could sit up here and grab the mic. Like it's all good. Really. So, okay. I'm hoping I got everybody's questions. So, okay, we've chose a product. We did our, stairway to PL. We've talked about TTH, title, thumbnail, hook, or the equivalent of it on Amazon. We've done the renders. We've tested it. We got our 70-30 split. We did a simulation. We looked at it on reviews, and we're like, we can win on this. So now you're going to the actual factory. And with the time, I'm like curious how close we're going to even get to pre-launch on these things. But you're now going to the factory. One mistake, I'll try to gloss over this one kind of rapidly, but one mistake I think a lot of people make with the factory is they just go out and reach out to the factory and like, hey, what's your MOQ or your minimum order quantity? Like, what's your MOQ? Can you send me a sample? So one of the first things you want to do when you're going to go get that sample is you want to do something called a golden sample from your supplier. And the golden sample, you could use BD inspection. The golden sample that you're doing is you're saying, hey, factory, instead of sending me one sample, my inspection company is going to go pick that sample up from you, and they're going to get 3, at least 3. They're going to get 3, and one of them they're going to send to me. First, they're going to make sure that the 3 are the same, because you'd be shocked at how many times they're not. They're the same. One of them they're going to send to you. One of them they're going to keep as a golden sample, and the other one they're going to go caveman on, and they're going to break this thing apart. They're going to figure out the materials that are in it, the weights, everything, super precise. And the reason why this is important is the whole thing you're doing right now is so that you can place an order for mass production and actually order product. But you need to know before you kick in a whole bunch of money and buy this product that the products that you ordered are at the same quality as the samples that you approved. So the inspection, or you're sending this money and God knows where it's going, and are you getting what you asked for? The inspection company comes in with their golden sample. They look at what was made. They make sure it is identical. If it's off on weights or the board is different or the material, the color, anything's different, you're going to get that alert in the inspection report. And they're going to be like, hey, so you know before, so you don't risk your money and send it, that what's going on with the product. So you've received the golden sample. One of the things I like to do, and this is where I told you I would do something, if I'm doing something different that's just me, I would do, is I like to build lists of people that would like to buy my product. And part of my product selection, or like what I'm going to sell, is I want to know if I can create content around the product that I'm going to do. If I'm selling those little caps that go on the bottom of the chair legs. I don't know why I'm picking on that one today, but it's gonna be very difficult to create content around that. But if I'm selling, if I'm selling ramen noodle soup bowls, there's an infinite number of recipes, tips, the keto version, the low sodium. There's so much content that I can create. There's so much graphics. Now there's so much AI. I could just say, give me an amazing bowl of keto ramen. I don't know, like keto ramen at a gym, and for free, get it. And create the content for me. So there's so much things there that people can get value on that I can create and that they can engage. And I'll tell you why that's important to me in a second. And the other one is that something that I'm a fan of, and we haven't talked much about in a bit, is at this stage is trivia, quizzes, polls, and contests. A tool that I like is called WooBox, but there's another one that's pretty popular amongst Amazon sellers called Gleam. But there's a lot of different ones out there. I don't care which one you use, but the example, so you have an idea of what I'm talking about and that you don't think I've gone crazy and this is still an Amazon group. Yep.
What was the first one you said, Carlos?
WooBox.
WooBox?
WOO box.
And then the other one?
Gleam.
Gleam?
Gleam, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them. I mean, you could, there's a viral loops, there's a lot. What I'm doing there is, I'm a Star Wars nerd. And if I'm on social media and I see something that says, what color lightsaber would you have if you were a Jedi? I stop what I'm doing and this must be answered, right? So I take it and then I'm hoping it's a red lightsaber so I can share it with my friends who are also into this thing. But what just happened there is I pixeled myself on social media, so now ads can be retargeted to me. And I've actually segmented this. So if I got 4 out of 5 right, or 5 out of 5 right, it's safe to say for the person that ran that I'm very involved in Star Wars. If I got none of them right, I'm possibly not even that knowledgeable of Star Wars and maybe not worthy of having another ad sent to, which might be to sell a Star Wars calendar to, just as an example. He didn't get anything right, chances are he's not gonna get a calendar, but if this nerd got 5 out of 5 right, this nerd would also buy the calendar, right? So you're segmenting them, talking about a different type of product. If you can get someone to take a quiz on, did you know that 60% of the United States has hyperhidrosis? I believe it's an accurate stat, so excessive sweating. But amongst hyperhidrosis, and say your product has to do with people that have excessive sweating, but if within hyperhidrosis, the 60%, some are at an extreme level that's impacting their life, their social life, and some of them don't even know they have it. You know what I mean? Because they're yeah, if I'm outside, I sweat, right? Your product, though, only is going to help the people that are at the extreme level. Well, there's not a Facebook group where people with hyperhidrosis hang out for you to target, right? So what happens is you have this thing out there, you're asking them some questions, they're curious, am I one of the 60%? Do I sweat a lot? I notice the stains on my shirt. They take this 3-part thing. Well, you know what? Now you have someone that you can run ads to if they qualified as someone that has extreme hyperhidrosis. So it allows you to segment, and running these type of trivia and polls on social media is very cheap. It's not like you're trying what you would need to pay to get a sale or to get a lead. It's very cheap. So now what you have set up is if you did later on want to sell to some of these people on social media, only run ads. You can get it, Tom. You can get it. I was seeing if he's going to be on that bike. You can now say, I'm only going to send these ads to people that have sort of raised their hand and engaged with this piece of trivia and said, I'm into that. This is my jam. Make sense? Okay. Doing this is something that I do. Most people that I know on Amazon don't do this, but the reason I think it is very important is I do not want to be in a position on Amazon, and the majority of the time, if my Amazon business succeeded, I succeeded. If it failed, I failed across my life, right? Is I never want to be in a position where I'm a 100% slave to rising Amazon PPC costs. I want to be able to have that option to be able to dip into Facebook or Meta ads and other types of social media ads to be able to move my products. If I'm at this stage and the type of content that I'm putting out is not resonating, and I'm only going to spend a few $100 to test this, I will not move forward with the product. That's my criteria. Whose phone was that? This shocked everyone. That was nice. That was you? That's all good. No, it's all good. That's not a ringtone. Oh, okay, all right. I was expecting like Macarena or something.
So you do that for each and every product that?
Yes, absolutely. I do that for each and every product that I'm going to launch. Keep in mind, I'm also not a fan of this quota of like X amount of products that need to be launched every week. Again, I mentioned I look for a product. I like to see that I can go 40 wide. I usually exit at about 13. So that kind of lets you know if I'm exiting the brand with like within 3 years and I'm only getting to 13, that kind of gives you an idea of how many new SKUs I probably launched. To be fair, the kind of like the accepted logic in Amazon is keep launching. Just keep launching. Add new products, launch, accept the fact that you have a 40 to 60% fail rate and just your winners start stacking. I have huge issues with that. Like I would not be able to help you with that strategy because it just seems wrong to me. All right. So we covered Quivia, Trizzes, polls. Contests also falls into that. I don't know if I would revisit contests like I used to now with the current state of social media, but I would probably give it a try. But contests would be now where the people that engage with your trivia, quizzes, or poll, you're now running a contest. Like one of the better ones I ever did, it was say a baby in a diaper sitting on a pile of coffee beans on a bag that had just been cut open, and it said something like, what funniest caption wins? And the person would win this coffee accessory that was like a $250, tabletop coffee grinder. So like, you get the idea. But the person needs to give an email, they might need to take a picture, it's a lot more friction, and social media was a totally different animal the last time I did it than it is now, but that's an option that you could throw in there. All right, now we're down to the product. At this point, I would look at, if you hadn't already thought of something obvious when you're with PickFu, I would look, now we're getting into defensibility and product differentiation. This is like, what I have on that white sticky board up on the wall is my 10-step to product differentiation. Obviously that could be like 2 classes in and of itself, but basically you have 1 through 10. 10 is your utility patents, 9 and 10 are like your utility patents, your design patents. 1 is color differentiation. 1 and 2, 2 and 3-ish, you're in the zone of like.
It doesn't stop the Chinese though.
What does it?
Patents, anything.
Yeah, it does. Well, I mean, if you filed a patent in the US, but you did not file one in China.
Right, but that won't stop them from listing on Amazon.
You can't stop someone from doing something, but you can stop them from making it a habit on Amazon. If you go to Amazon Legal and you show them your patent, like they move almost instantly on patents right now. Yeah, they'll move. Yeah, they don't. As a matter of fact, if somebody steals your image, you could do something called a DMCA takedown, a Digital Millennial Copyright Act, and they're mandated by law. They have like 48 hours to do it, but they don't play on patents. Like a lot of people that gripe about Amazon not doing anything on patents, the issue is more of like their patent is like pending or has been beaten a whole bunch of times, or like the legal business that they have on their account is not the legal entity that shows here. So Amazon's kind of like, well, you prove that it's you. There's a lot of other stuff that's happening that they're not saying, but Amazon drops the UPC codes, trademarks, you might be in a big fight. Patents, Amazon's gonna drop the guillotine on them almost immediately.
Great.
Yeah, and they'll send it to arbitration. They'll tell the people, if even if you're right and you're not infringing on the patent, you know, you need to go through arbitration. They'll make it like, yeah, patents carry a lot of weight, but they also cost a lot of money. So, so 1 is like the color, 2 is like, let's say length or quantity. 3, and that might be, example be jungle sticks. Say you created bamboo, like the Jungle Scout did, they created these bamboo marshmallow sticks. Say you created some that were longer or more per pack. So that's different, but it's very easy to copy. Your next one might be functional packaging. So if you have jungle sticks that are made of a material like, not that cheapy little bamboo, but like something thicker that you could keep, you might want a case to put them in so that they can be protected when you store them when not in use. And if all the competitors just have like a plastic one, like you take them out of the plastic and there's none, the fact that you have functional packaging that acts as a safeguard to the products between use, that's a differentiator a lot of people don't think about.
Probably help you with your reviews too.
100%. Packaging also at that level could be giftable packaging, but it really needs to, like, if giftable packaging is your differentiator, like it really needs to be a highly giftable item and phenomenal gift packaging.
I have a question. You put a keyword on the package when it's not really on the package?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a great example of this that we've done. I was just on the phone with Aaron, actually.
I know you're gonna.
So
Oh, they
this,
changed it again.
yeah, you started to change it again, yeah. It's constantly changing. It does not say lifetime warranty on this product when you get it, right? But the social proof of seeing that visually in the main image is pretty amazing. It does not say premium on this one when you get it, right? And depending on which model this is and knowing him, it either says milk frother or electric mixer, not both. And this will be changed out constantly. And the idea here is, and again, it's in the video vault of a past event we did, having the keyword spelt out visible somewhere, even if it's as an overlay on the packaging of the product. Mind you, you can't have a brown box that this comes in and then show premium packaging here. That's item not as described, that's a negative review. But even people that were here that had bought this product and could confirm this stuff's not on the packaging. It does not come with a bow. You know what I mean? Like a lot of this, but this helps. And this is a seller who's dominating the milk frother space, lives in Tampa. And they're not resting on their laurels. They're constant, just in the few weeks that we've done this, constantly testing out different looks on these keywords. The power pickful users. Yeah, so you do want to try to incorporate the word in there. Yeah.
You don't check all the pages, just quickly see, or they just get an image, the main image, with the variations.
I don't remember what they did on their secondary.
No, the colors, different colors.
Colors.
You can-
Oh,
That's a hybrid.
yeah, that's a hybrid. See the hybrid where they added in Duracell? Now they have Duracell in search. So it looks like they probably do a flat file and they change the whole thing out to where all have premium. Yeah, yeah, they don't. Okay. All right, let's get out of that one. All right, so where are we at? Okay, so we got color, length, quantity. These two are functional packaging, giftable. 5 is going to be, let's call it black box, if you will, or no, I'm sorry, it's a different component, which is, and remember, this is to create a product as defensible as possible against other Amazon sellers. And this is going to be, you're working with a company who does wooden humidors, and you want to work with a totally different company who does hygrometers, and then you want to marry the two together. So this, no one factory can make all parts of it. Let me tell you, you got to really know what you're doing to do that, because to get two factories to work together and not blame each other because of compatibility issues is a crazy thing. And then finally, after that, you have black boxing, and that is one person makes the hygrometer, one person makes the humidor. They don't know of each other, and somebody else assembles the thing. Then you're going to have technological differentiator, which is going to be, can you work in an app, or like we were talking about before, like, and by the way, we do this if anyone's interested in it. What's going on here? Orders. Oh, I must not be logged into the right account. Oh, can't find it. Let me see if I can go here. Animal balloon kit. My God, these apps, these little extensions, like take forever to allow us to load, but is it here? Here we go. So this product, this is a cheapy little animal balloon kit, and the box is over there. Anybody wants to take a look at it? They, everybody else is selling for like $7 to $9. This, but because they have this app here, they're selling for $19.95, and they're one of the better sellers. So like, it's a technological differentiator is what I call that, those sort of things. Then you have licensing, and then we're at 9 and 10, which is the types of patents. And there's different ways to attack all of it. So this is the stage that I would start looking at that.
Yeah, it's only tutorials.
Sorry?
Yeah. It's only, you want to see some tutorial of
So in this case, they're actually breaking terms of service, because you're not allowed to do this unless the app is in the actual app store with the product, which is what I do. In this case, they just put the cutout of the app here, and I know they've not done it because it's not in the app store, and I bought their product and tried to download the app. And the only thing they have this here for, the only thing this app does is it's a QR code somewhere on the back of their packaging that says scan for web app. You scan it, it takes you to a landing page, it asks you for your name and email, and then nothing happens. But the idea that they had here, they probably just didn't know how to do it, is, think about it, it's probably difficult to make the animals that are on this box if you don't know how to do it. Why not have videos showing you how to actually use the product? I would pay the $5 or $6 more to get that. So their idea was right. Also, if you're looking for balloon animals, you're expecting to see stuff like this. All of a sudden you see a listing that has an app, you're kind of like, whoa, like it's a scroll stopper. So that's important. I think it's important to spend a bunch of time on the product differentiation side of it. I think it's that important. You don't want to be selling, you don't want to be the lowest cost product on Amazon really anymore. It is a very price sensitive environment, but the idea here is you want to make money, not have, not just be a high volume seller that makes no money. The whole like sales are vanity, profits are sanity is a very real thing. I mean, if your goal is just to get into like some 7-figure private group, then go for gross sales. But I'm telling you that wears out like really fast, and you actually need to make some money and enjoy life. So I would spend a bunch of time there figuring out how to best differentiate. Yeah. Yeah. You can just leave it here. It's fine. Carlos. Thank you. We got to show our support for Amazon, right? Like, he's like, I'm never coming back. Right? I like yield for Amazon delivery trucks when I'm driving. Like, that's how bad it is. I'm like, they're coming. I'm like, help somebody out. I yield. That's how much I love those people. All right. So spend a bunch of time in that differentiation stage. I don't want to spend too much time here going over that. I want to start talking now about things you can be doing from that stage to the product is coming to Amazon and you want to sell it. So in this stage, this is where you're creating your listing. This is where you're doing your product photography. Mind you, there's some great product photographers and videographers in China. So if you're dealing with China, you could just deal with them. If you're looking for someone here, local, I know that psychologically you want the person to be super close, even though you might not have any photo or video skills. Well, but there's Celine, who's local in North Miami. She's worked with a lot of people here in the group. Fantastic. You did work with Celine, Yamiyo. Fantastic. English has been absolutely fantastic, and I do not know how she's so affordable for how good she is. When you compare it to other people, fantastic. Yeah, very nice person, very knowledgeable, understands Amazon, and she's a product photographer. She's local. If you're interested, reach out to me and I'll do an intro. She's not a sponsor. I don't get an affiliate cut. It's nothing like that. She's just fantastic, and I love supporting her. If she had a team, I would be trying to buy her company, but she's the only person who runs it, so I don't even know how that would work. But she's that amazing. If you're looking for stuff on the creative side, because this is where you need to do your creatives, and I'll briefly touch on this, but like, I'll show you a product that.
Carla, can you share the screen to the YouTube?
Yes, but you got to give me a second to do it. Give me a second, guys. I didn't think I'd be sharing the screen, so let me. Trying to hurry up, guys.
It's on Creator Pages. It should at least the current pages.
Even Josan on the stream is like, yeah, Celine's amazing. Almost there. Okay. All right, there we go. I really didn't think we would be showing too much of the screen, so I didn't set it up ahead of time, but so you're going to want to be actually creating the listing, and I think when we talk about creating the listing, we really think about the copy itself and the keywords, but there's a lot more than that. Obviously, the images are super important, which, by the way, I work with this brand right here. Highly recommend them for your house, especially if you live in Miami. Never have to like change out your AC stuff anymore. You just literally pop this into the tube and it like cleans your AC for like forever, and you have an app. So, anywho, look at these graphics down here. So this is called A+ content. All this area. So this really helps people get an additional visual or know more about the product that they can't get in the top part of the listing. So it really helps conversions. But this is a lot more creative than just product photography. The other area that you're looking at is the branded storefront that you get to create when you have a brand and add these products in. There's a company that you could use for this if you don't want to use our Fiverr profile. And I think these guys are great, super affordable. Yeah, you use them, right? Yeah, Dobby's. I have no idea how they stay so cheap. Yeah, but
Don't say that. Don't say no, they increase the price.
look, but if you're looking for someone that you're like, we were talking about earlier, and it's like, how do I get those renders initially so that I can do the tests? Dobby ads. They have nothing to do with ads in the sense of like running your ads, but everything to do with the creative, which actually helps you do ads. But this is the kind of gorgeous looking stuff that you want to see on your listing. Like this, again, this is not product photography. Okay? The other one now, I mean, we don't talk about it, we haven't talked about it too much in the life of this group, but if you find someone that's like really good with AI, you are allowed to use AI in your images on Amazon. Like you can use AI in your A+ content, you can use AI for your lifestyle images, you are allowed. You're not allowed to leave a review that is an AI review, but you could totally use AI. If I get AI and I tried to create a really good lifestyle image though, I'd rather just pay someone to do the lifestyle image. Like I don't know AI enough to do that, but a lot of brands that are getting really good with it, that's what they're using. They're not doing, they're just using pure AI to create all their creative on Amazon.
Have you heard the partnership Amazon doing with TikTok?
Yeah, recently, just like in the last 2 days, I've heard you can now buy Amazon products on TikTok without leaving TikTok. Yeah, Amazon and TikTok did that.
TikTok Shop is probably gonna.
Nah. No. Well, Amazon did that with Facebook. Amazon's done that. Shopify and Amazon have something like that now. So that's just good for all platforms that you could do something like that. Social selling is becoming a thing. So if you have a platform, if you're TikTok, you want people to spend money and be on TikTok. If they have to bounce off on Amazon and go buy it, you're not going to like change that they'll never do it. Instead, someone can buy it and stay on TikTok. So that's great for TikTok.
I read the Amazon, you can buy TikTok ads through Amazon. Almost PPC.
I have not heard that. No, I've not heard that. I think it would. Mind you, I have a GED, so it's above my pay grade. But Amazon's facing like antitrust stuff. TikTok every other week is like imminently about to be shut down. If they both show that they're working together, I can imagine that it's a better scenario for everyone. So I hope TikTok doesn't go anywhere. Anyhow, this is where you bring in Dobby ads and let them and leverage their creation to get your A+ create. You don't want to wait until your product has arrived to do all this. And to take a step back, you want to have your listing created so you already have your FN SKU before the products even ship out, so you can have it maybe put on your product.
We'll create the entire Amazon landing page for you.
The creative. Yeah, the creative. So like if you want, you still need to work with somebody or learn how to do your competitor category and keyword research. And if you don't have your listing set up right on that side, you could have the best creative in the world, but you're just gonna hemorrhage money on ads and you're not gonna get recognized how you should be with the algorithm. But then once you have the copy, you're then looking at it and you're like, okay, this is what this is looking like, you know, let's create creative that supports this or enhances this. You now go to Dobby Ads and get this done. And if you reach out to me, again, they're not sponsors yet, but if you reach out to me, I can do an intro with the owner. He's trying to like, he's aggressively pursuing to try to get a sponsorship with us. and he's trying to bend over backwards to help us in the community to show like that this would be a good sponsorship. So an email introduction by me would, while I don't get anything from it, I think would get you to the front of the line and get you maybe some benefits on price breaks if we did it. So the best way would just reach out to me on Telegram, reach out to me one-on-one, or reach out to me on WhatsApp, send me your email, tell me who you are so I can save your number, and I'll make an email introduction, or contact direct. But if you want the added benefit of that, I could do the email intro.
Yes, thank you.
He's listening? Yeah.
No, I'm texting.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, SG's amazing. So it's, I highly recommend it. Yeah. I will say, tiny critique would be when they first came out, it was 100% accurate every single time. As they've expanded and there's some growing pains, you gotta sometimes reach back out and say, can you tweak this? It's still 95% right, like first time, first go, first pass. Nobody's 100%. So this is where you'd bring them in. Other things that a lot of people don't realize that they should set up ahead of time is you should go in and start structuring like what your campaigns are going to look like on the advertising side. You don't want to be trying to do that on day one. If you want promotions to start, if you want coupons to run, if you want whatever you want to be done, get everything you can possibly set up beforehand. So when the time is right, you just hit basically the equivalent of turn on and everything starts running. Was there a question from the stream? No? Okay. What else we got? Oh, here's two more at this stage. One of them is relatively new, which you'll understand why. And this other one, I just, for the life of me, I don't understand why more people don't do this. So go to Fiverr, go to your friends, go to just, it technically can be you. There's no rule that says it can't be you. Go to whoever and just ask all of the, go into the question section of, let me show you, visual here might be better. Let me look for toy dinosaur. I don't want to click on ads. Yeah, let's go with this. This looks like fun. Oh, you like Rufus showing up right here? This is Amazon AI right here showing up. Where is the section at? Oh, this one's not showing. Anyhow, I won't waste a lot of time doing it. So you go to the question section, you go to the frequently asked questions section of the listing, and you can go in there and ask a question, and you can answer that question. You can answer the question with video, right? You can answer the question just with, a text block. But what happens there is, like, let's say you have a product and you want, this is an extreme example and I don't suggest you do this, but like, let's say you have a product that you want to rank for CBD. But you can't have a CBD product or Amazon's gonna Thanos snap you, right? So what you could do is you could go in and say, let's have someone come in here into the frequently asked questions section and ask a bunch of questions that have to do with CBD. Have those questions answered. Mind you, don't put in there, yes, this product contains CBD, but just answer back with those keywords and submit them. That indexes, those keywords will help you get indexed and found in search to rank on day one. Right? It makes your listing more relevant for those keywords that you may not think are the best fit to go in the title of it. And you can put an infinite amount there. If you're curious what are questions that should be asked, take a second and just say, like, what are all the questions that my product answers or somebody that would buy my product would want? Go to your top 10 competitors and see all the questions that were asked on their listings. Go look at all the negative reviews. Those are all questions. And if you're just lazy, to be fair, go to ChatGPT, right? and put the link to all your competitors in there and say, what are the top 100? Please tell me what are the top 100 questions that people would have to ask if they're interested in buying this product. And then bonus points if you ask it to answer for you, right? And you do that. You could have 100 in the first week of frequently asked questions. And there is technically nothing right now, because frequently asked questions are not reviews, that says you can't use AI to answer questions in FAQs. So I mean, it's literally that easy. It's like carve out 30 minutes to an hour and have, you will notice a massive difference on launch if you have a bunch of frequently asked questions and answers associated already built into the product. Not to mention you're helping Rufus, which is Amazon AI, which is a totally different disaster of a topic in my opinion. The other part here that ties into this, and this is a relatively new one, on the next launch I would do it, is if you're launching a product, especially if you're in this group, just give at least 5 to 10 of these things away to other people in the group that are in the Amazon Influencer Program, and just get them to review it. The chances are, if they're in the group, they're not gonna charge you to just review this product. They know you're learning stuff in the group and you're actually gonna try to launch and sell this thing, so the likelihood of it selling and them making a commission off of helping you out that they were willing to do for free is pretty high. And you also get to fill up those different spots on your listing that allow a video to show up to help you with conversions. So you can do that. Now, if you have a product that you're willing to get more reviews for, here's some serious bonus points. The frequently asked questions section that we just mentioned, you're allowed to answer those with vertical video. Okay? So instead of just looking at the Amazon Influencer Program as a way to get 5 to 10 video slots filled, you could ask people to just answer these questions on video, chop them, and add them as video answers. The video and any text overlay they have if they're edited, all of those keywords index. Amazon reads what is said in the video. It's because it's the same way, this example I just heard recently makes sense. It's the same way why isn't it strange that you've never gone on YouTube and searched for an air-conditioned thing and saw something like porn pop up? And there's so many people that like to do this crazy stuff, right? It's because YouTube reads what's inside the video. It reads the visual, it reads the text, it indexes all of it, and that's how it prevents that craziness from happening. Same thing with Amazon. They read it and they index it. So all that video can be used there as well. Yeah.
The question that's asked on the if it's the same profile, does it say the same person asking the same question, or does it?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't show, so I could,
Yeah.
I could
Actually, I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. People are not looking at this like, oh my God, was this a legit question?
Yeah.
It's just a question and they want to see an answer for it.
Yeah.
Some of these are, is this product compatible with blank?
Yeah.
Can it be in the dishwasher? They don't care if it's the same person answering it. They just want an answer, and they couldn't find it or it doesn't exist, the answer on the listing.
So this video will be on the top or in the bottom?
No, it would be, you wouldn't even see it. You'd have to go to the frequently asked questions, look at the questions that are there, and you would see one of them has a video reply.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not on the carousel?
No, it's not on the carousel. It's completely different, right? You should take the time, I mean, I would take the time to answer all of them in a video format. You can do that internally. It doesn't need to look like UGC.
Yeah.
You just want it answered. This is to help conversions. If somebody got that far, they went on Amazon, they searched for something, they chose your product, they're on your detail page, they've scrolled down, they want to buy. Like, answer it. Answer it in every format possible. In the same vein, something else you should do is Amazon posts at this stage. So what Amazon posts are, let's go to, but we're gonna go really deep on this post one real quick, so if any of you are like, oh my God, post, that sucks. Like, it doesn't suck. Wow, it's already 3:30, Jesus Christ. These are Amazon posts. So it's like a social feed for your brand that you can post things and tag your product and segment it, right? So I find that the lift that posts gives is so small that it's almost worth ignoring at one point, right? You got to create the content. So unless you have a steady stream of user-generated content coming in, it's like, Jesus Christ. If you're already posting a lot on social media, it's just like, let me post it anyway. But if you're not, it's like, do you create a content creation system just to do post? It's a very difficult argument to make. Like, to be honest, I had pulled back on it and I was like, it's really not that worth it. But what Amazon Post now allows you to do is it now allows you to not just post with these static images. Let me see if Lego has used any. Doesn't look like they are. And almost nobody is using it, right? So imagine you're on a feed of posts and you're seeing a bunch of static images, and then all of a sudden you see a vertical video showing up, right? Huge, like the conversion rate's huge. So like the reason I know it's huge is because in your account on Amazon Posts, you get to see how many eyeballs and engagement and everything you get on those posts are. Right? So you get to see which type of content is performing, so much better than others. So a lot of things right here. One, you're allowed to use AI for these as of right now. So there's no reason why you can't create a whole bunch using AI with your product and video. Two, this is another area that people are not using, especially since it's so cheap to get an Amazon influencer video. You're going to put your product in a bunch of people's hands. You want it to look like user-generated content. They're shooting a video. Why not create the video and get that same video and post it here? It's like a very genuine, it's very authentic video, vertical, that you can get. You can cut it into different pieces and get multiple pieces of content out of it. That changes everything, but it gets better. I feel like a used car salesman, but it gets a lot better. Since you now have a dashboard that shows you which of these pieces of content that's working best is, when you're creating an ad on Amazon, if you're creating a sponsored brand ad, you now have a button there to choose your creative. One of the options that, again, shocking to me that people are not seeing this, is that you can now choose from an Amazon post as your creative. So if you've ever been on social media and you're looking at an ad showing a whole bunch of social proof and engagement on it, it's the same thing. You're getting a whole bunch of engagement on one of these posts. You choose it to be run as a video ad on Amazon, and you pick the ones that are performing the best from your post dashboard. Program's 100% free to use. So it's another reason to really, as a seller, connect better with Amazon influencers. This group's in an extremely unique position in the sense of like, we're sellers and we want to sell online. And this Amazon influencer thing is just it's like an income stream that we can bolt on. So we also inadvertently have a bunch of people that are willing to create content in the group. So you can dip on both sides. You get all this content done and launch your products. So we got about halfway, and it's 3:30. So I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Do you guys like the topic? Do you want to continue with the other half of it in a different presentation? Yeah? I can cover another half of it next week, but we got another topic next week as well.
What is this?
You want to weigh out whether it's worth doing? Oh, that's nice. Thank you so much. It's not that I spent like 6 hours coming up with a topic that would help everyone or anything. Let me see. No, I'm just playing with you. Let me see. Next week we have... you choose. Next week we have Mastering Amazon. No, that's Wednesday. Oh no, you're not going to want to miss next week. Next week is how to make money with government contracts. So, yeah.
John Bowman's coming?
Yeah.
Johnny? Oh, okay.
Yeah, John's coming. You're not going to want to miss it. You're really, really not. Like, we've done this topic twice in the last 10 years. This is, yeah. I just have a relationship with this person, so I was able to get him in. Otherwise, like, it would be not possible. So, like, no, it won't be next week. I'm happy.
I would do that, and I'd do the influence program and call it a day. The government contract thing.
Yeah, so I will do it as soon as possible, the back half of this, or I could also continue the conversation after this. I can schedule a Zoom meetup to cover the other half of it. But I hope everybody got value out of this, as far as like what I'm hoping you take away from this, because it would be impossible to memorize like 150 steps and there's actually 600, is it is not look at your competitor, clone listing, order product, turn on an automatic ad, see what the algorithm thinks, pray. You know, like it's not that. It's so not that. Right? It's so not that. There's so many different we didn't even, I mean, there's like 40 steps just in packaging that we haven't touched on that can be done. So like that's what I'd love for you to walk away with today. Hopefully new, hopefully you didn't feel like I will never come to this again. This is the scariest thing in the world.
Now I know how much I don't know.
Yeah, so like it's totally doable. It's definitely not laptop lifestyle, passive income, barely put any hours. It's not. But totally do it. It's a great group of people. We're going to wrap up here. We're going to stay hanging out, networking here. You're more than welcome to stay. And yeah.
One last question. When you talk about packaging, you consider there the UPC, the GS1, the FNSQ, everything that is related with the package and how you're going to send it to the
For packaging, besides the creative and the graphics, I consider lead generation in a white hat, TOS compliant Amazon way. I consider like a way to get reviews in a white hat compliant way. I consider the UPC code going on it. Even if I'm putting a UPC code on the packaging and I'm putting an FNSKU sticker over it, I still want, and my reason for that is, I still want, in the event that somebody tries to knock off my product or hijack my listing, I still want to be able to show that as one additional point of this is my product if I need to do a takedown. So I'm known to like have the UPC code put on and put an FNSKU sticker on top of it instead of printing the FNSKU sticker on the box. If I'm using a technological differentiator like an app, I'm going to put like a QR code with an arrow going at it. Not just because we create the apps. Again, you're talking about like a $1,500 investment, but like creating those apps is probably the easiest way to sell your product at a higher price and increase conversions right now. So like that's why I harp on it. And I can show you over like tons of listings on where that's the case.
What's the important thing in an app? I mean, let's go back to the French press. What are you going to do for an app on the French press?
Let me show you a different listing then. That you mind if I show one of your listings? So I can dive. Yeah. Or you know what?
Which one?
I don't. Leaves and soul.
Yeah.
To be fair, and normally I don't say this in the same sentence with Tom's stuff, I absolutely hate how he positioned the app in this case. It feels lazy to me. He's not, but it feels like an afterthought, and I think you will agree with me. Do we click on one of his ads? Really? No.
Charge me on here.
Corn fertilizer.
You can just charge him $2 right there? No. So, again, please don't use this as an example of this is almost an example of what you should not do. And again, normally that's not in the same sentence with Tom, but like, you see how this app kind of feels like an afterthought? It's like, what is that square thing floating around up there? Obviously, he's choosing to prioritize the corn. I think it would be fine to just show husk on the bottom and blow this app up a lot more and let it take up more of a primary position. Probably to the left to not cover this premium quality guaranteed. By the way, is that on the packaging or did you add that after?
No, it's on the packaging.
It's on the packaging.
But a little hack that I got from Anthony from Pick Food. He said to put items, so the robots in Amazon actually, like, it's kind of technically against terms of service because you're not really going to get a piece of corn with my fertilizer, right? But I've got a picture of the corn touching the bottle, and because it's touching the bottle, the robot actually picks up the outline as a crazy looking outline. If the corn was separate, it would pick it up as two separate images and probably flag it. So the fact that your item is touching your packaging allows the robot to kind of let it go through that and miss it.
Yeah, I want to show you.
Catches that one image.
I missed the picture. You did the same thing with a little app, with the phone?
With the phone, yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing. So what happens with a phone, like the picture of the phone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it touches it too.
It
So
touches
it's
too?
touchy, yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know where he went.
So here's some
Do your,
examples.
Did you, what about the thumb thing from,
Well, the vacuum's doing the same thing.
yeah, but he's doing it down low.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for example, the point here is if your product looks like a bunch of other products, you want to stop the scroll. So I think when I'm talking about an app, you're immediately thinking, well, how is this going to be a smart technology? Like, where's the connection? And it's less about that. It's more about stopping the scroll, and you pay for that with an ad. Now, there are cool things you can do with an app once you do have it, like downloadables in the app, like lead generation that you normally, that's a huge downside of Amazon that you can't get your customer. But if you have any rebates built in, if you need to have any warranties doing, anything you would normally have in your thing that sends somebody for a rebate or a warranty, you would send them somewhere for that.
Instructions.
Like instructions, how-tos, best practices. Like instead, kind of rule it all with an app. Not to mention if you look at a product, if you looked at two products and one of them had the download from the Apple Store and Google Play Store on one and the other one didn't, you just assume that this one is a better item, right? Because it's like, oh my God, how did that happen? You imagine that there's this super high barrier of entry to be able to do something like that, and if they did that, they must be greater. So that's the main benefit. It's increased conversions, increased profit margin. Yeah, all right. Thank you all so much. I look forward to hanging out. Thank you for starting the clap. All right. Whole tribe, honestly. I hear too many excuses over the years. I can't go. I gotta watch my, and I'm like, that is lame. I'm like, I really think it's lame. So I like that you did that. Yeah, I see. I didn't want to say it out loud, but yeah. You okay? Is everything okay?
What's up, man? How are you?
Bye.
I got my son.